This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where every week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, along with our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your host, Cheryl.
And Jay.
In case you were curious, we do record that every episode live. There is no pre-recording of our intro, so you just got me doing it live. So Jay is up for trivia this week. Hit me.
Okay, so this isn't strong trivia, but it's qualifying trivia.
So I can still miss it. Go ahead.
Okay, so Elodie, who's the main character in the movie Damsel, which we are watching and reviewing for this episode. Well, we are reviewing for this episode. Elodie is played by Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes.
So, and if you haven't seen the previews for this movie, this is a spoiler alert, but there's a dragon in this movie that's featured pretty prominently throughout it. So Elodie's first encounter with the dragon mirrors an interaction between another fictional character and a dragon.
What is it?
Who would that be?
Do I need to know the movie or the person?
I would say either.
Okay, let me replay the movie in my head. She does that. Is it from Dragonheart? Which would be weird because I just mentioned that movie.
No.
Okay. Is it Hobbit movie 2? The Smaug?
Yes. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
Is it?
Yeah. Their interaction mirrors where you don't see the dragon at first.
You just hear the voice. Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
And it tells them to run.
Yes,
yeah.
You're right. Okay. Equally in movie quality, I would say they're pretty equal. This one and the second Hobbit movie. No,
I would give this one a leg up. It's not as long as that second Hobbit movie.
Okay, sure.
The second Hobbit movie didn't get good until the third act.
Voice acting for both dragons, very good though.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good voice actors.
All right, now let's get into our episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. So this week we have a good chunk of news. We got some spicy news. 2 different sectors, I would say. So we have Marvel news, some movie and TV show announcements, 2 trailers parked in the trailer park, and a healthy amount of quick bits. So we'll start with the Marvel news. The first bombshell, we'll call it, was that the X-Men 97 creator Beau DeMayo was fired.
Yeah.
Let go.
No,
released,
fired. They say fired. Yeah.
Yeah. Some articles tried to make it seem like they went their separate ways. I was like, nah, I think that man was fired.
He went a separate way.
So the crazy part is the X-Men premiere, where they did the Hollywood premiere, was 2 days ago. So the day before that is when they announced that he was fired. And the one thing that they made prominent was that he will not be at the premiere and he was not going to be doing any promo for his own show. Mm-hmm. So of course everybody, all the haters were all like, it's because the show's not good and there was creative differences and Disney didn't like what he's going to put out. But then, I don't know, maybe mere hours later, when all the people who got to see because X-Men 97 doesn't come out until Disney Plus until December 20th. Mm-hmm. So the people who got to see it early were all like, this is amazing. I love it. It's what I wanted. And they only got to see the first 3 episodes. So show reviews were good. Mm-hmm. So that was a clear sign that it was not creative differences. And me and you were like, what has actually happened here? Yeah.
And then the executive producer on the show made a statement a couple days ago where they said that he did a great job. Mm-hmm. They love his writing on season 1 and he's already written season 2.
Yes.
And there was an article that came out that said that he was fired in the midst of talking about the write-up for season 3. So, yes. And they said that the executive producer guy said that they loved the work that he was doing. So it wasn't his quality of work that was the issue.
It was not
a personal issue.
There's been some rumblings and nothing's been confirmed. He has not come out and said anything. That's the most that Disney has said about him. They didn't directly address him being fired. They just said we loved his work that he's already done for the show, that we have a hold of. There was some rumblings about him not being the best person behind the scenes to work with.
Because he was fired off of another show.
Witcher.
Yes.
Yes, so he was fired off the Witcher series off of Netflix.
For being a nightmare to work with, apparently.
So it's given...
I wonder how that went with him and Henry Cavill both being apparent nightmares over there.
Yeah, that next Witcher season is...
Good luck to it.
Thoughts and prayers. We don't know. We don't know any more about the outside if he got fired and the show is getting good reviews.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is weird. So
it's like a first. Usually when somebody gets let go, it's usually after the shows come out. So they'll wait till like the show is out and it's premiered and everything. And then you'll go, oh, yeah, by the way, the person's show that you liked is no longer working for us. But they were said, no. He's not even promoting his own stuff.
Usually if Disney fires you, it is because of creative differences.
Usually.
That's how the first director got fired of Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
And they brought in Sam Raimi. It was creative differences. And they both came out and said, no, we just didn't agree with the direction.
Right.
Or they'll fire you because of you being caught in extreme controversy. This was weird because he was fired before the show came out. Mm-hmm. They only have good things to say about him. Right. And there wasn't a controversy that we were aware of prior to him. Like nobody was looking for him.
Exactly.
It's
kind of like Jonathan Majors 2.0.
I mean, we kind of knew why Jonathan Majors was getting... The controversy with Jonathan Majors came first, then the firing.
Well, what the weird thing was, before the controversy, we didn't hear nothing. It was just kind of like, I'm sorry, what's happening right now?
But he wasn't getting punished before we knew what was going on. This was just weird.
We just scrolling Twitter like, I'm sorry, who just got let go from what?
And nobody's saying anything.
No.
But I guess, I don't want to say it's good for him because I don't necessarily know what he does or whether he deserves good.
Right.
But
I don't know that, man.
It's going to be very interesting to see where he lands next. If X-Men 97 is really, really good and everybody loves it. That shows that he pretty much has some type of talent.
He's good at his job, but maybe not good with other people.
But then it's gonna come up in interviews. Like, so your resume is great.
Oh, absolutely.
However, why do you keep getting fired from things that are like The Witcher was good?
The Witcher was and quite popular on Netflix.
So he clearly did some good work on The Witcher because The Witcher is still going. Mm-hmm. X-Men 97 is getting like the rave reviews.
Yes, it is.
And
he's already written season 2. And they're not going to throw that away. Like, we're going to chuck season 2 even though it's already done because the guy we fired. No, they're not doing that.
And he didn't just do writing on X-Men 97. He did writing on it. Mm-hmm. He was in charge of character design. He's the one who made the ultimate decision to change the art style to make it look the way it does and coordinate the fight scenes the way that they look.
Yeah, he's tagged as creator.
So
he's the show.
It's weird. It's very weird for him to be responsible for a success that everybody else is able to celebrate except for him.
I'm sure he's celebrating behind the scenes. Like, it's got to be nice to see that the show is getting good reviews.
It sounds like he's not even allowed to talk about it. So that's weird.
And he wiped like his social media. He was already off Twitter, I believe, but they realized that they being social media realized that he also wiped his Instagram.
Yeah, which is also super weird and creepy. Why wipe all of your social media and start? People don't start Twitter over unless there's so much bad that it takes too much time to delete.
Because Twitter will find some old tweets. Yeah. Okay, we'll save, we'll screenshot, we'll share.
Yeah.
Season 3 is already in development. So I'm assuming they're already trying to get a leg up on who is going to lead season 3 because they got season 1 and season 2 in the bag. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, deleting your social media is a super red. Deleting your social media and immediately making a new one is a super red flag. And then his first tweet was, words are silver, but silence is gold. I'm like, that's creepy.
it was weird. It was weird. We'll see.
That's such a guilty person statement.
We'll see what comes out of this. Because the show seems like it's going to be fine. I don't know what's going to happen with the controversy with the guy behind the show.
Silence is always golden when you're in trouble. So it's a very strange
and when you're
retweeting
on Twitter, that's not really silence.
He retweeted the
article
about him being fired. It's like, I
don't know.
Strange.
That's like passive aggressive silence. Yeah, that don't really work. That don't really work. But X-Men 97 comes out on Disney Plus March 20th. I think we were already going to at least watch it, check it out.
Yeah, I was actually going to watch at least the first 2 episodes.
And it sounds like it's going to be good. So
it sounds like it will.
We'll come back and let y'all know how it is.
It'll be good. animated, watered down counter programming that runs right alongside super dark and explicit Invincible.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It gives them another animated superhero show to watch that isn't as
aggressive
as
Right.
Invincible is.
Okay. Next up in Marvel news, Agatha Darkhold Diaries is now just being called Agatha.
We have to stop reporting on this.
I mean, I kind of like the timeline of how every other episode the title of the show changed.
Is this gonna mean something? This has to mean something in the show, like the names constantly.
Well,
changing.
this is coming from Comic Circus. That is who the source is for this news. Apparently, instead of we had Agatha Darkhold Diaries, Agatha Harkness of Darkness.
Darkness might as well be.
There's been like 3 or 4 different titles.
House of Harkness.
There it is. I knew you're gonna help me out. Apparently the taglines will be the titles of the episode, but I don't feel like that's like, I know news can be half true, and this feels like this kind of what it is. I can believe that the show's just gonna be called Agatha. Perfect. One word. Perfect line. The titles that we've already gotten though don't seem to make sense as episode titles. Or taglines that we've gotten don't seem to make sense as episode titles.
That's why I don't think this was a plan. I think this is
they just got tired of making
reworking. They're constantly reworking the title because the taglines don't make sense as episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
we're saying that as people who hasn't actually seen it.
Also true.
It doesn't make sense as episodes for the taglines that we've seen to be individual episode titles, like Darkhold Diaries, House of Harkness. It's just weird. But
the show being called Agatha, boom, they should have just started with that.
I think it keeps being reworked.
The show or just the title?
Maybe, the title, because clearly they didn't need another reshoots.
Right.
They said that they were satisfied. The people who did the test screenings were satisfied with what they saw. So
it fits. Loki, WandaVision, Agatha.
It didn't need a tagline.
It absolutely
especially for a first show.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then people read too much in the taglines anyway. Just like we talked about last episode, Final Destination Bloodlines, and we got all on a tangent about what the heck Bloodlines meant. Just leave it. Just leave it as Agatha. That's all we have about Agatha. It's still coming out in the fall as far as we know. There was one other set leak. It looked like Catherine Hahn in like a CGI harness or CGI setup with a harness, but we don't know anything else. Looking forward to it because it sounds like it's been well received by the people in charge over at Disney.
Yeah.
So next up, Marvel head of TV, Brad Winderbaum. I think I said Brad's last name right. Confirms Ironheart and Wonder Man are still a go. I don't know why people thought they both weren't.
Because there was a statement that came out that Bob Iger said he was quietly canceling some Disney products.
Ironheart is done, and we already know Wonder Man is filming. People just like to automatically think negative.
It's because
of things that are already finished.
Ironheart is something they haven't talked about. It's done and it's been finished for so long.
I guess it's also not.
They also have never mentioned it, and they keep removing it from the release calendar.
You're right. You're right.
Wonder Man, I think people were thinking because he said that, and everybody was just speculating like who was on the chopping block. And I think they thought Wonder Man because Wonder Man was unfinished.
Right. But they just started.
Somebody just died, so.
Right, but I don't see them scrapping a whole show that they've already started. They'll start over, but I don't know about scrapping something.
I don't know what Marvel's doing now.
Which might lead into our next point. But before we move on to that, so Brad said that, and I quote, "Yeah, absolutely. We're editing both of the shows as we speak. They're spectacular, they're amazing, and they're different. We're able to explore corners of the universe that are really exciting. Riri Williams is one of them, and I can't wait for people to meet Simon Williams." Just now realizing both of those characters have the same last name.
Yeah.
But no relation, right?
I'm not sure.
In the comics, did Ironheart and Wonder Man ever have any type of cousin?
I'm an idiot. No, they're not related.
Okay.
Simon Williams is Wonder Man.
Right.
I don't think that. I don't know.
They're not even in the same pockets of the universe, right?
Wonder Man's Hollywood.
Right.
Riri's New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just both happen to be black people, black characters with the same last name.
Right.
No relation though. So that's kind of news, quote unquote. I guess people feel like I'm glad that he said something because people were trying to speculate, as we'll get into our next rumor here, that shows which shows are getting canceled because there's a rumor about that. But in addition to the news that came out about TV shows for Marvel, he also confirmed that the Nova project is still in development, which has still been in development for how long at this point has Nova been floating around in the
for
MCU?
a very, very long time.
At least 5 years.
I think they're doing this because, for all intents and purposes, and I'm somebody who's read Nova stuff, Nova's just a male Captain Marvel. And because they're not going to move forward with Captain Marvel for obvious reasons, I think that they're just trying to swap her out for a male counterpart to see if he does better. And I don't think he will, because Nova is like super C-list on the list of
according
Marvel
to a rumor
superheroes.
that was floating around last week, Ryan Gosling apparently has joined the MCU. That rumor floated for a couple of hours because I didn't see too many people mention it. But somebody tried to make a connection of what if Ryan Gosling is who they want to be Nova.
That could make sense.
And then at that point, he will be popular because he's Ryan Gosling. That would literally be the only reason why.
Maybe.
I
feel like Ryan Gosling just got popular.
Super popular.
Because of Barbie.
Right, and he's gonna ride that wave until the wheel falls off. And him playing a Marvel character, I feel like would continue the wave. Yeah,
Nova's just like you know what? Nova was more popular after the original Nova died, and they made they gave his powers to like a kid who joined the Young Avengers.
Interesting.
So,
and who's to say that the Nova that they're thinking about will be a adult?
That's true.
Maybe will be a kid.
That's true.
That kind of leads into our next point in our next and last point in Marvel news is there's a rumor floating around that Disney, this is from the Scooper Insider journalist, I don't know his official title, Daniel PK. He says that Disney will be taking less risk and focusing more on guaranteed hits. So there is a thought that movies like sequels for Eternals, Ant-Man, and Captain Marvel are not happening, which it's funny when people get upset when we bring up the Eternals and Eternals not getting the sequel and it not doing well at the box office, because it's like, well, where were all y'all when this movie came out? Because I didn't see no type of love for Eternals when the movie came out. And now here we are, I don't know, 3-4 years later, everybody's like, we love Eternals. Save Eternals. Like, I'm sorry, when and where were y'all when this movie first was released? It's
nowhere,
weird.
Not in theaters.
Right. So now the thing is, Marvel's like, okay, well, y'all didn't go see Eternals. Y'all didn't go see, we all kind of feel the same about Ant-Man 3. That was just
Ant-Man killed its momentum starting with Ant-Man 2. That's where the problem started.
Yeah. They never got back to Ant-Man 1. And then y'all didn't go see the Marvel. So now they're like, we're not doing another Captain Marvel because it's clear y'all don't want to see her either. Now everybody's like outraged. I don't know if I believe all of this because
I could see it.
But later on this week, maybe the very next day, the same day, a different scooper was like, oh, they're not getting rid of Eternals. They're just going to transform into a different project. And I'm like, a TV series? Y'all about to get Angelina Jolie in a TV series? For Marvel?
Angelina Jolie's not returning
exactly.
For anything small.
So what does it mean that it's getting transformed?
You might get Salma Hayek.
I mean, listen.
But you're not getting Gemma Chan for TV.
You're not getting all those people back for a TV series. You're not getting Barry
Keoghan back. Sorry.
So if it's not a TV show, then you're doing what, like a special presentation? That don't make
Nobody's going to watch that.
Right. So either it's a movie or it ain't a movie. That's why sometimes with these
they'll probably just incorporate them in other stuff.
That makes
Bob
sense.
Iger said a long time ago that they were going to take a look at everything that had gotten a sequel and determine whether or not it deserves independent films or whether they can just roll those characters into bigger stories. So they'll probably just roll them into we don't need another Ant-Man. Ant-Man's 3, so that's fine.
Right. After 3, I feel like you've made your mark. You're lucky if you get a 4.
Pyra can just show up and stuff. The Eternals can just show up and stuff, I guess, even though they left the planet. So I don't know where they're going to show up. Captain Marvel can just be present in things because she's Captain Marvel. She can literally be anywhere in the galaxy in a second.
Out of these 3, I think Captain Marvel will actually get a series. I'm going to put that on.
I don't think Brie Larson would do a series.
No, I'm sorry. Movie.
You think she'll get another movie?
I think Captain Marvel will get another movie. Somebody made a very good point of Marvel did Thor Dark World and then followed it up with Ragnarok. And then followed it up with another Thor movie.
I don't know. I think Captain Marvel's definitely not getting another movie before Secret Wars. And
No.
I still think after Secret Wars, they're going to reboot everything. So maybe Captain Marvel will get another movie as a different actress in a reboot. Because they're not going to reboot everything and keep the same actors. Because that would defeat the purpose of the reboot.
Yes, which is what's happening at DC right now. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I 100% believe this rumor. Everybody's going along with it. We'll see what happens at the end. But Eternals and Captain Marvel, I would like to see sequels, other movies for both of them. Ant-Man, we can wrap that up.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. All right. Want to go into our movie/show announcements?
Sure. So the first one is DC Teen Titans have a live action film in development. This is via The Hollywood Reporter. It is going to be written by Anna Nogueira. Sure. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I murdered your name, Anna.
Sorry, Anna.
She'll write the screenplay. She's also writing the screenplay for Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow, which is another James Gunn DCU production.
I think it's funny, one, that Teen Titans, me and you were talking about this before, is getting a live action movie because Teen Titans has already been animated.
Twice.
It's
had two shows. It's had the regular Teen Titans, and then they made the baby version, Teen Titans Go. And then they had an animated film that went to theaters that did pretty well.
I didn't know that. And we have a live action Titan show. Well, had a live action Titan show that nobody watched.
Good casting. Writing was all over the place.
Right, but still nobody. I mean, it wasn't making waves. So I don't know why we just can't get Batman Beyond, y'all. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's what people want to see.
Why are we making a Teen Titans live action movie?
People are online debating, like, because of course this seems unnecessary.
Of course.
So people are online debating, like, well, Teen Titans is a very recognizable, and we've had so many iterations of Batman, and we have so many iterations of Superman, and why can't we have a Teen Titans movie?
I don't think there's a huge market for teen team-up movies.
Yeah.
Like adults, so you got your Guardians, you got your Avengers, you got your adults.
Not teen characters, but teen team-up superhero movies where
correct.
You have a team of teenagers who are clearly inferior to the team of adults. So
that are their counterparts.
We would rather see a good Justice League.
There we go.
The people who are the actual full-grown professionals who have the talent and skill, not the Teen Titans. And also, there are other more interesting characters who have been a lot more successful, like Batman Beyond.
Hello.
People are literally in the streets.
One team, and that's just one team.
With tiki torches.
Me, I am people.
Rioting for a Batman Beyond production. And DC is just like,
no thanks.
We don't care. I mean, we see everybody in the streets setting everything ablaze, but we just don't think the interest is there.
We see the mob outside trying to burn our building down, but we're not going to give y'all what
Michael
y'all want.
Keaton has literally aged into the role. We've watched him be Batman, go through his own Batman stories, and age into the older Bruce Wayne. That is like, that's divine intervention.
And we just had the Oscar bit where him, Danny DeVito, and Arnold Schwarzenegger were doing a whole Batman bit, and he looks like freaking old Batman.
Yeah, and you can do a Batman Beyond, and you can have Easter eggs that reference like Danny DeVito's Penguin, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze, and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Like, it's already there. The whole filmography, it's literally there.
This is an instance where I wish Marvel had rights to Batman, just Batman Beyond.
Because Kevin would do it.
Absolutely.
Kevin would Kathleen Kennedy would do it. Even her kooky behind would create Batman Beyond.
Whatever. We get into Teen Titans live action. The casting is going to cause discourse because why not?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want their own particular version of all these different characters that have been brought to life over the years. I don't think we need it. I'm assuming they were super impressed by the Supergirl script, so they haven't her write another script. I also think it's interesting that James Gunn hasn't technically laid out his full slate for the first part of DC. I don't think.
And why are we preparing?
We already add movies to it.
Why are we preparing?
Where's the Green Lantern news?
Green Lantern? Yeah. How about that? Why are we preparing a team of sidekicks?
Yeah.
And we don't have an established. This universe doesn't have a Wonder Woman. This universe doesn't have a Green Lantern. The only thing this universe has is a Batman.
Two Batmans.
Yeah. This is supposed to be like our Superman is supposed to be like fresh super. Why is our Superman gonna be just as experienced as our Teen Titans because they've been around at the same time?
Maybe this is an origin story. So how the Teen Titans came to be. I don't know.
They can't come to be without their adult
versions. Listen, I'm trying to make sense.
Their adult supervisors.
I'm trying to make sense out of this, but as you can probably tell by our conversation, we're not particularly looking forward.
I wonder what the lineup is going to be.
There are other DC properties that I would love to have seen get developed or being said that they are being worked on. I don't know. Maybe they'll bless us with a Batman Beyond after we've all screamed and not. If we all don't go see these movies that come out, maybe that'll be the convincing.
Yeah, let's bank it on that. Let's waste the money first and then see if the interest is still there.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
We'll see. As more news comes out, of course, we will let you guys know. On to our next topic, which,
it's icky.
I'm gonna let you lead.
Oh, wow, I have to do this.
Yes, you do, because this is your space right here.
So something interesting happened this week, which I don't know if I saw coming, but I am not surprised.
I am surprised.
So Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott. So after the big fallout from Screen 7, the last writer falling out or dropping out of the project after they fired Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega peaced out, and then they said that she was always peacing out, but the timeline doesn't add up on that.
It don't. It sounds real fishy.
It sounds like she quit.
Still.
Right. So Scream 7 was effectively dead at Spyglass, but I mean, they weren't going to just let it die because there's money to be made there.
I didn't think they were going to let it die, but I
thought they were going to give it more time.
I didn't think that they were going to cut Neve a check, and I didn't think Neve was actually going to take the check. In my personal opinion, I didn't think she would go down like that.
Love Neve, Sidney Prescott, but she's not doing anything else.
The discourse was very strong in this, where people were like, you guys say you're Scream fans, but you're dragging Neve Campbell. And it's just kind of like, y'all, the whole purpose of her not coming back was because they weren't paying her. And we were all on her side. Yeah. We were all like, girl, yes, get your check, get your money, you know your worth. And then the person who got fired for speaking out against genocide got fired. And then she comes in like, I'm going to take the check now. Go ahead and send him out. It don't look right. It don't feel right.
Optics mean a lot, especially when you're trying to promote a film.
What the heck is the storyline even going to be about at this point? Like, who in her past is coming back at this point?
Well, it's going to be Matthew Lillard.
That's predictable.
Yeah, so that's also why it's like, this is weird.
Wait,
because
he's dead.
He's not.
Is this the TV situation?
He was supposed to be the killer in Scream 3, but it got scrapped and they brought in the Foley guy, B613.
Scott Foley.
Yeah, Scott Foley from B613. So they've always kept Matthew Lillard having survived
in the back pocket.
Yeah.
That's predictable.
And then in Scream 6, when Mindy is talking to Kirby while they're waiting for their plan to get started, they drop the hint that it's rumored that he's actually still alive out there somewhere.
Because they're going through all the mementos or whatever, right?
Right. So Neve Campbell says she's going to come back for Scream 7 after Melissa and Jenna's exit. What's also very interesting about this is that Kevin Williamson is back, and he is directing this time for the first time.
Because he wrote the first Scream, right?
Yeah, he's. So I'm gonna go over his filmography because
he's Mr. Scream.
Well, he's Mr. a lot of things.
Okay.
So he wrote the first Scream. Right after that, the next year, he wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ooh. Then in that same year, he wrote Scream 2.
Okay.
He executive produced Halloween H2O with Jamie Lee Curtis to revive Michael Myers.
Okay.
He wrote The Faculty.
Oh, that was a good one.
He produced Scream 3.
Okay.
Did not write Scream 3, Scream 3 is a lot different.
You can tell.
It sits on an island by itself.
It does. That's like everybody's least favorite, it seems like.
He wrote
or
that.
Is it 4? 1 or 2.
Which one is their favorite?
Everybody's least favorite seems to be 4. I think it's 4.
I think it's 3. 3 is the Hollywood one.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, where it went goofy.
Mm-hmm.
He also wrote and produced Cursed. That was that Christina Ricci movie where her brother turned into werewolves. It's like a 2005 movie.
It sounds like a 2005 movie.
He did write and produce Scream 4.
Okay.
He executive produced the Scream reboot with Melissa Barrera.
All right.
Wrote and produced Sick.
Okay.
That Scream version of the pandemic quarantine movie that came out.
I remember. I remember this.
And he executive produced Scream 7. Well, Scream 6. So he does a lot of like slasher stuff. He's also written for Dawson's Creek, Vampire Diaries, the following.
So he good at his
Scream
job,
series.
is what you're saying?
He makes a lot of like everybody's favorite campy summer slasher flicks.
Outside of Scream, I know what you did last summer. The Faculty, those all hit. Okay, yeah. I remember. This is interesting.
I think that they did this in tandem to try to really swoon everybody back over.
Don't worry about the ickiness with this casting. Look who we brought back, y'all.
But somebody did make a good point. They said the Scream fandom is not the same now. Well, they're trying to
get new people.
Well, no, this isn't getting new people because the Scream fandom changed after that reboot. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega fans are Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega fans. And they're fans of these younger people who are like popular people who start out from TV because that's how Scream developed. Scream started with Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell and David Arquette, who were like the it people
of TV.
Yeah. So you're losing the new fans that you kind of just gained because they're also of the like mind, especially with this conflict that's going on with Gaza. So they're out. Like you're all building back up from Scream 4.
They got their 2 movies and they bouncing. Yeah. Like what's next on these actresses list?
Like
that I'm
these new people
out?
Who became fans of Scream after Scream 5 and Scream 6 don't care about
There's
Sidney
no
Prescott.
connection.
I mean, they care about Sidney Prescott in the sense of lore, but they weren't on this journey. So
and they don't care about it continuing.
It's almost the same as like, I don't know. It's almost the same as like bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis because they brought well, not the same, but it's not like bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis. There was never anybody else who was like the main character in a Halloween movie, but y'all completely changed it with Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega.
You made a new franchise.
Yeah, you made a new franchise with the new fans.
And now these fans about to be like, nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I have no attachment now.
It's those people that they need to worry about because those are the people that they're losing.
It's like when Grey's left Grey's Anatomy. Like, I don't care about these people now.
Because I think the last Scream was like the highest grossing Scream in the franchise.
Was it?
And I don't know.
They had good momentum there and they killed it. And now they're trying to get it back. And I'm very curious. Even if the writing on Scream 7 is good, I think there's going to be too much ickiness around how this all went down. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
We'll
see.
We will we'll revisit everybody's temperature on this after that first trailer
temperature
drops.
check. I don't think there's any release date.
Everything has to be perfect, though. They have to bringing Neve Campbell back is one thing. Bringing Kevin Williamson back is a plus. Fine.
Are they bringing back Dewey's ghost?
Yeah, and then y'all killed Dewey. So the OG fans are already mad because you're not even bringing it back, but y'all done killed a member of the original 3.
I was gonna say now you can't do the thing because one of them are dead.
Like they did the whole core 4 thing with this, and now the whole 4 is gone, and then now y'all done killed Dewey, who was like the lightheartedness piece of that.
Yeah,
whatever. It's gonna be interesting.
I just don't.
But like I said, everything has to be perfect. They have to cast a whole bunch of people that me and you don't know but are popular, which is how it's going now for some of these movies. I'm like, who is this? Yeah.
And who is this?
So they're gonna have to get Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney in here.
I knew you were gonna say both of them.
And Miles Teller. And they're gonna have to get some. They're gonna who else is
Barry? What's his name?
Barry Keoghan. They're gonna have to cast Barry Keoghan. They're gonna have cast everybody that was in Saltburn.
There it is. I was gonna say. I was gonna try to name all of them. And Hunger Games.
And Hunger Games.
Get on
and Paul Mescal. And
maybe they'll get Zendaya. She might be too expensive.
Zendaya's not coming to screen. She would be a great Drew Barrymore opening kill. Because you always got to cast a really famous person for the opening kill.
That could work. I don't know if they're going to cut. I don't think she's gonna tie herself to this. Let me take that back. No.
Oh yeah, no, it's too messy.
She gonna be like, no. Y'all can't pay me for this.
And then it's like, all of the new hot actors out now are also of the like mind of Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. So,
right, so they might not want to touch
them
it
to
either.
abandon their morals to
That's
join
true.
this franchise.
That is very true. Random off, not remotely related to Scream, but Sydney Sweeney said that she would do another Spider-Man movie if Zendaya was in it. I was like, girl,
fat chance.
You're not coming to the MCU.
You're
not doing that.
She still thinks she's over there.
I think she knows now at this point. But yeah, so back to Scream. We'll see. I'm very curious of the lead up to this. Not just I ain't getting to the movie yet. The lead up to this movie is gonna be very interesting.
And what are they gonna do about her kids?
And her husband.
Like, her kids can't be at risk because they're literally children. She was pushing them in a stroller.
She literally
and her husband
is off the reservation.
Y'all can't kill her dude again. Y'all can't go through 3 dudes.
We're not killing kids. So
y'all can't kill kids.
Who are we killing?
Courtney Cox doesn't. I mean, we don't even know where Sydney lives.
Exactly. I'm saying she's off the reservation so that she keeps her family safe.
Yeah, I mean, she's in society, but we don't know where she is.
Who are we killing that we care about at this point?
I mean, they're gonna go after Sydney, but what's the motive now? And if it is Matthew Lillard, why did he wait this long?
Why? That's too predictable. I feel like we already know that's gonna happen.
It's super gonna be him, especially since he like resurfaced with the whole Five Nights at Freddy's thing. They're absolutely throwing Matthew Lillard in there.
Child, okay, well, Scream 7 featuring Sidney Prescott and Matthew Lillard is coming at you.
Right. And the Force Ghost Dewey.
And CGI'd, AI'd Force Ghost Dewey.
Over into the trailer park we are pulling into. We have one new trailer. Well, we have one new trailer for a new movie. And then we finally have a trailer for a movie that was announced a while ago.
Correct.
So the first trailer is The Crow.
Which we just talked. I feel like we talked about The Crow the last 2 episodes because the first episode that we talked about, we were like, when is this coming out? Where is it? And then the next episode, they must have heard us because then they gave it an official date, which is June 7th. And then the next week, we got a full trailer, which looks interesting.
That's all I can really say. It looks interesting.
Here we go. Let's just
the host.
It's dark.
Yeah.
It's gloomy. It's excessively bloody. A lot of gunshots. A lot of fighting.
It looks like The Crow.
Looks like a Crow.
It looks like it takes place in the UK.
Oh, I didn't catch up on that.
Just the architecture and all the theaters takes place in like a big opera house.
Okay. What else can we tell you about the trailer?
It definitely doesn't look like it takes place, and because of the actors. The villain, I think, is British.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. This didn't grab me in to be like, you know what? I actually think I want to see this opening weekend now.
So
I'm not really that invested.
The Crow is going to star Bill Skarsgård as
like him.
Eric Draven as the Crow. He's having a big year. He's also got the Boy Kills World movie that comes out later this year as well. He also has another film.
I don't know. But he was also most recently in John Wick 4.
He was in John Wick 4.
I really liked him in John Wick 4.
So he's got The Crow. He's got another movie that's coming out this year. Nosferatu.
Right, you're right.
The Nosferatu reboot, I guess.
Remake, rehash.
Where he's playing Nosferatu.
Yeah, he's going to do well in that.
Yeah. It also will star FK Twigs as the female lead in the movie who plays Shelley Webster, his fiance.
And you see what happens to her in the trailer.
Right, which also happens to her in the comic and in all the movies.
Okay, so they keep that consistent.
Yeah, she always dies. And Danny Houston, who is going to be playing the villain. I don't know if he has superpowers. I didn't read Crow comics, but he's going to be the villain. If you don't know who he is, he was the bad guy in Wonder Woman. The first one.
Okay.
That she thinking it was
Ares.
Ares. He was also the bad guy, and he was the main vampire in 30 Days of Night, which is that vampire movie that takes place in Alaska. It's about Alaska.
I've heard of 30 Days of Night.
It's about the 30 Days of Darkness that take place in Alaska, where apparently over those 30 days, the vampires come and feast on the townsfolk.
Have a party?
Yeah.
Okay.
The trailer it looks like a 2000, I don't know how else to describe it. It just looks like a 2004 version of the Crow movie.
2024, you mean?
Yeah, 2024 movie.
also
version
to you.
It looks like a 2024 version of the 90s Crow movie.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing anything different. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. The only thing different is that it's
the people.
Yeah, just different actors. And they changed his look a little bit.
Yes, he does look his hair. I think his hair is not as long or something.
This Crow, what this Crow reboot looks like the upgrade of the 94 version of the Crow. Just like the Mortal Kombat movie looked like an upgrade of the original Mortal Kombat movie. Not
I agree with that.
It doesn't look like the OG. The new Mortal Kombat movie was good. It wasn't great. And it was not definitely great. Could have been better.
It could have had some combat.
It could have had
the Mortal kind.
Yeah, it could have had included the actual tournament.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep.
This Crow looks like that. It looks like it's going to be entertaining, but it's going to be
all right movie.
It's gonna have room for improvement.
Yes, I can see that for sure.
Effects look good. It looks gory. It looks graphic.
It looks extreme. It is extremely gory and graphic. Like he's getting shot head on. Mm-hmm. He's getting stabbed head on.
He's like bleeding black blood everywhere.
Everywhere, dripping, drooping.
Everybody else is bleeding.
Pooling everywhere.
The trailer is like a red band trailer, which it didn't even say. Like it didn't have like the red band warning or logo. Like it was just a regular trailer, and then you're watching people fully get shot in the face with shotguns.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it looks interesting. I like Bill Skarsgård as an actor.
I do as well.
I've only seen FK Twigs in like 15 minutes of
movie. I haven't seen her in anything.
The actor who plays the villain, he's never memorable in anything he's in. I would say he's memorable in 30 Days of Night as like the main vampire, but there were so many of them, and they were all gross and creepy looking.
They all fit the part. Is what you're saying.
So
I don't know. It didn't seem to be overwhelmingly positive or negative reaction to this trailer, to be honest with you.
So for anybody who doesn't know what The Crow is about, The Crow is about a guy and his fiance she witnesses a crime.
Mm-hmm. She says
the crime is always different, but it's usually she witnesses a murder from some powerful people.
Yep.
They hunt her down and kill her because they need to tie up loose ends, and they end up killing both of them.
Right. Show that in the trailer. This is all in the trailer.
So they kill both of them. They usually dump their bodies, and then kind of like the cat in Batman Forever or Batman Returns brings Michelle Pfeiffer back to life. Mm-hmm. A crow brings Bill Skarsgård back to life. Because they're like the
guardians of the underworld or something.
A crow, every time crows guide people's souls to the afterworld, to the afterlife.
Excuse me. I immediately went to underworld. Sorry.
or the underworld for the crow.
I mean, he don't look like he came from somewhere nice and pleasant.
Spirit, the Native American, and I think it's tied to like Native American folklore. So the Native American spirit of this crow brings him back to life as like the spirit of vengeance.
And he's ready to tear it up.
Yeah. And
for his girlfriend.
Right.
Fiance, excuse me.
Right. And he just gets revenge by punishing the terrible and protecting
I feel like you know the ending when you watch this trailer. You're like, I know how this is going to end.
He lives. And she doesn't, because
you can't bring dead people back.
You can't bring, and they see that into the trailer. Like you have to avenge her death in a certain amount of time, or you'll lose her soul forever. It's like she's literally dead.
She's not coming back.
She's dead,
and it would be weird if she did.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It comes out June 17th. I don't know if we're going to do it on a podcast. Maybe if nothing else is coming out.
I would see it. I would still see it even if we don't do it on a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you know our thoughts. We will let y'all know our thoughts.
We can sit through like John
or Jay's
Wick.
Thoughts.
We can sit through John Wick gore. I feel like we can sit through this.
It's not even the gore. I'm just kind of like, am I going to be entertained enough to sit through all that gore?
I mean, it looks a little ho-hum. But
a little ho-hum, okay.
Next trailer we have is Atlas. This is a straight to Netflix film. This is going to star Jennifer Lopez as the main character, Atlas Shepard. Simu Liu from a lot of things. Recently he was in Barbie. Mm-hmm. He's also in Shang-Chi and the upcoming Shang-Chi 2.
He's going to be in King Arthur, your favorite.
Okay, didn't see that. Not seeing that. I did see that. I did see it got an A+ cinema score.
It?
Yeah.
Oh, so wow, A+.
People like it.
That, you know what? It got an A+ because people who like them dog saving movies. It's a dog saving movie.
Their audience.
Right. Okay.
It'll also star Sterling K. Brown, Oscar nominated Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, that's right.
From American Fiction.
And from that very sad TV show I didn't watch.
This Is Us.
There it is.
Yes.
And also Black Panther.
And Predator.
And Predator.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to star those three. It's also going to star some other people, some other smaller roles. Mark Strong, who we saw.
I know Mark Strong.
In Kingsman. Mm-hmm, but he's been in a bunch of different stuff.
Yes.
And Abraham Papula, who I'm not familiar with, and Lana Parrilla. So, but essentially this is a live action version of Titanfall, the video game.
When I watched this, I texted you and said, what did I say this movie reminded me of? No. I was like, what in the Pacific Rim is it?
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's got, to describe the trailer real quick, you don't see a lot. It's only like a minute and a half. It's very clear that Jennifer Lopez's character is in some sort of like mortal danger because her ship / robots, what do you want to call it? It's Transformer or whatever.
Yeah.
There it is. Her Megazord is falling and to a planet or something, and she's in danger, and she's calling out for help, and she's trying to tell her robot to do a thing, and it's not doing a thing. And that pretty much sums literally the whole thing up.
Yeah. So the plot is Atlas Shepard, who's played by Jennifer Lopez, a brilliant but misanthropic data analyst with a deep distrust of artificial intelligence, joins a mission to capture a renegade robot with whom she shares a mysterious past. When plans go awry, her only hope of saving the future of humanity from AI is to trust this robot.
So the trailer gives none of that away.
Trailer doesn't give any of that away. From the trailer, it looks like Jennifer Lopez is fighting the robots from inside a giant robot. Like she's using her Gundam suit to fight other Gundam robots. There's like some scenes of what looks like a meteor shower. There's some...
It's giving Doomsday.
There's some modern Star Trek looking stuff where we have this super advanced looking human city that has other robots and spaceships floating around it.
It's definitely future based.
It looks like a mix. The movie looks like it's for video game players. The movie looks like a mix of Titanfall. Titanfall is a video game based in the future about soldiers who use AI robots to fight in wars.
Okay.
In conflict. And the story campaign of Titanfall is about a soldier who gets stranded somewhere, and it's just him and his giant robot companion, and they have to navigate the terrain to survive.
So this sounds just like that.
It sounds like that. It also gives a little bit of Metroid Prime. It kind of seems like they're trying to make Jennifer Lopez seem like Samus, who is the Metroid Prime is a woman.
Okay.
In the yellow suit and arm.
Right.
She's a bounty hunter, and she goes around
trying to
fights robots and alien forces and stuff like that.
I'll give it this.
CGI budget. In the trailer looks okay.
Budget.
Yeah.
It looks like Netflix gave it a little bit of budget, but it is giving Netflix. So
yeah.
Simu
Liu looks like he's the bad guy.
I kind of got that because it seems like his character has a bit of a attitude or something in the movie. Because is he supposed to be the AI then? Is he playing AI?
No, it says she's on a mission. She joins a mission to capture a robot. So and she has a past with this robot.
But maybe the robot's like human form.
That could be it.
The trailer don't give you a ton. Like
no,
none
it doesn't.
Of that. You would not get that plot.
It's beautiful gowns. That's just about it.
You would get nothing of the plot from this trailer other than Jennifer Lopez's character is trapped in a Gundam suit and she in danger.
Yeah.
So it comes out May 24th, which I think is either the weekend before or the weekend of Memorial Day. So I'm sure Netflix is trying to get those views up.
Her last movie that she just released, that This Is Me, Jennifer Lopez thing. About that. And her other movie, The Mother.
I remember
have
The
been
Mother.
Like the top streaming Netflix movies in succession.
So
she does
space.
Really good at Netflix. So this is not surprising.
This is probably going to do well as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think, we'll see. It's got Sterling K. Brown.
It'll do well.
It'll do well.
People love her on Netflix.
All right. She's not on tour though. Anywho, that is it for our trailer park. Now we're going to go into quick bits. Our first quick of bit. Anywho.
Our first bite.
That's what I was looking for. Our first bite is Scarlett Johansson has been offered the lead role in Gareth Edwards' Jurassic World movie. Another movie that we have been talking about at least once every episode for the last few episodes.
Because new details keep trickling out.
Right. So Gareth Edwards is on board to direct the new Jurassic World movie that is coming out next summer, I believe.
Yeah, they're trying to rush it out.
Right. And it didn't say she signed on or confirmed. It just said that she has been offered the lead role. Mm-hmm. I can see Scarlett Johansson in a dinosaur movie. I just want to see her in a good one, not a rushed one. Like, give me a good dinosaur movie with Scarlett.
Because Scarlett Johansson can actually act, so give her something to do.
Yeah, like, give Asian Queen something good to work with these dinosaurs.
Multicultural queen.
Okay, so we'll see how it turns out. We'll see if she even accepts the offer. I'm super curious about this plot, though.
You know who they made several successful moves together, who is in need of work.
Chris Evans
could just fit the role of a guy running around with dinosaurs.
If they put Chris Evans and ScarJo in a dinosaur movie,
it's $1 billion.
I was just about
it's $1 billion.
And it's Gareth Edwards directing it. Who know how to work a budget.
Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson have made like out before MCU have made like 4 movies together. They've been acting since they were teenagers.
Right.
And like
I did know
movies
that.
to adult. And then they build up like so much fame and chemistry from just being in like his Captain America movies are some of the best standalone films. Right. She's in most of them.
Yes.
And they're like camaraderie in there. And he's perfect. He's perfect for run. He's a better choice in this than Chris Pratt. Or of equal standing.
I would say yes to that. And I would say this is probably his better choice of movies that he's picked.
Action.
Recently. Yeah.
Being in a Jurassic Park movie.
Fighting dinosaurs like he's Captain America. This is his road to Captain America without being Captain America.
The memory of Black Widow and Captain America versus dinosaurs. $1 billion.
Billion.
Like, do the smart
Y'all
thing.
better listen to us. If this gets casted, I want a check.
Yeah.
Because this is perfect.
Do the smart thing. Cast Chris Evans alongside Scarlett Johansson in this.
You called it.
And bring back Jeff Goldblum. $1 billion.
You can put Jeff Goldblum in literally anything. Yes.
Because every Jurassic movie has to have a returning character, or it's not a Jurassic Park movie. So you have to have either Sam Neill, Laura Dern, or Jeff Goldblum in it.
Was there somebody in the first Jurassic World though from the other movies? Yes, scientists. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. We'll see. When I saw this, I was like, I can see this, but I want it to be good, y'all. I want it to be good. We'll see. Next bite. Anywho, I'm gonna screw this up the whole time. James Gunn says that Peacemaker season 1 is not canon to the DCEU. I'm sorry, the DCU. EU is dead now. This caused a bit of a stir because how do you have a season? Because he's working on season 2 or is finished writing season 2, and it's supposed to start filming here pretty soon. The big hubbub about this was how do you have a season 2 of a show when season 1 is not canon to it? Won't you just start over? It don't seem to be making much sense.
Well, it just means that nobody needs to watch season 1.
Literally put season 1 in the bin.
Yeah.
Because he just said it's not canon. And then I think he further clarified a little bit, or tried to further clarify, because people started asking questions because on the surface it doesn't make much sense. He was saying how some of the lines and some of the characters will translate over, but not everything. And it's just like, dude, just don't say nothing. Just put your junk out.
His wife will translate over.
She always translates. His wife.
No matter what the plan is, his wife translates to whatever is required.
I can't even hate on that because 10 times out of 10, I can't ID that woman in a lineup or in a movie. I'd be like, which one is she exactly? So it don't even bother me. And props to him for being a husband, always making sure his wife got work. However, having 2 seasons of a show and saying that the first season is not canon is super weird. It's super confusing. People try to every time he says something, his fan base and his fans are kind of like, you guys are always trying to make it turn bad and make it sound bad, but this totally makes sense because in this sense, then they say something that doesn't make sense. You do you hear yourself?
Yeah,
I don't.
And then people are like, oh well, it's not gonna matter in the grand scheme of things because the only people who watch Peacemaker are DC fans, and the only people who care about things being canon are DC fans. And it's like, no, that's not true. General audiences try to stay up with what's canon or not, but they can't because there are so many other franchises that they don't want to spend all their time trying to pay attention to one that continues to change. Also,
not only that,
to anything,
but a regular TV show series watcher goes from season to season to season to season.
Yeah.
Now you telling me, please watch my season 2. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me check out season 1. You're like, no, don't worry about it. It don't count. You're like, excuse me? I'm just supposed to start with season. Why is it called season 2? I don't know what's going on with DC.
You don't have to say it's not canon. It can just be.
You could just put that.
It can be a loose season. Parks and Recreation season 1 is a very loose season tied to the rest of them.
That's how season 1s just work.
Season 1s are just a little wonky.
You just could have put that second one out and kept it rolling.
Even if they're not wonky, they're wonkier than the rest of the series because series get better as they go.
Right. So don't watch season 1 of Peacemaker, y'all. If you don't need to.
Yeah.
If you do watch it,
So this upcoming season, don't feel like you need to binge season 1 if you want to jump on the train, because it doesn't matter.
Shouldn't have said don't watch it. Don't nobody come at me for that.
Next bite. Venom 3 will be called Venom: The Last Dance and releases October 25th, 2024. They also said that there was a rumor that does not mean it's going to be the end of Tom Hardy's Venom. They plan to use him in other stuff, which makes sense.
I like Tom Hardy as Venom, so I'm on board with that. Mm-hmm. Somebody made a point that they like that this is releasing close to Halloween, but not on Halloween.
Yeah, because people don't go to the theaters on Halloween.
Right.
They go to Halloween parties.
So they're trying to like get that whole, Venom's, it's not a Halloween movie, but it's got that dark tone to it. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that because it was coming out November 8th. So they moved it up, interestingly enough. So I wonder if they're trying to get that pre-Halloween crowd. Although if you hadn't seen the first two, I don't know if you would go see the third one at this point.
They're diminishing returns, definitely.
They are. That second
Venom 1 is solid. Venom 2 is
a movie.
Wonky. This one will be wonky. And it sounds like the way they're titling it, The Last Dance, they're committing to the wonkiness.
Sure.
The camp and the unseriousness. Because the last one was super unserious.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy 2 very much. I was ready for it to be over, unfortunately. Yeah. So we'll see it.
But they make money, so.
Yeah, the reason why 2 even exists is because 1 made so much money.
Yeah,
so much freaking money.
They absolutely make money. Next bite, Patty Jenkins' Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie is back on. There was a lot of debate about whether this was. Yeah, this is resurrected. Yeah, there it is. For sure.
From the grave.
Because after 1984 flopped, and then she did all those press statements saying that, it was the whole Wonder Woman hubbub. She basically came out and was like, well, the only reason there was action in the first Wonder Woman is because they twisted my arm. I wasn't going to even include much. And then the second movie, she was like, oh, all the action that took place was my idea.
Then when the whole change of arms came, when James Gunn got on board, and there was the talk of like, won't they keep Wonder Woman? Won't they fire Patty? Did they not? Did they do? That whole thing was weird. So everybody just thought Patty was done for life,
and I think she got kicked off that Cleopatra movie because now that's being directed by someone else.
Right. Now, I wouldn't say I'm a huge Patty Jenkins fan. However,
she has Monster. She'll always have Monster.
As a woman, there are plenty of male directors who have movies that are not good.
Also true.
And continue to make movies that are not good. Big budget movies that are not good.
Really, Scott?
You said it, not me.
Ridley Scott is a legend, and he will always have his good movies, but
his last 4 movies
are bad.
Not good.
Not good.
And I just feel like she made a dud, y'all. That's okay. Just let her make her movies.
I think it's because she does not have as long of a filmography. And she's a woman. But also, I think because when people think of Patty Jenkins, it's only Monster and Wonder Woman, the first one.
Yeah, listen.
She's got 2 out of 3.
What ain't bad?
Monster was good.
Everybody loved the first Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman 1 was good.
And I'm somebody who didn't love the first Wonder Woman.
That third one was bad. And I do find it strange that the third one was really bad. Like there's no cushioning it.
No.
It was bad. But I do find it very strange that people are like, the third one was so bad it completely erases her entire
She can't ever work again.
Right.
It's like relax.
That doesn't make much sense.
Right. So she back in the saddle. Good for her. Let the woman work and let her prove that she can actually do her thing. I mean, she obviously knows what she obviously has some talent. So people need to chill out.
You know what was bad?
What?
The Killer. But David Fincher continues to work.
I forgot that movie existed, and we did a podcast episode on it.
So bad.
It was not. The end of that movie was like, did you not want to finish it?
And I liked parts of The Killer because I do enjoy bad movies, but that was a bad movie that I won't go back and read.
It was just such a letdown at the end.
Yeah.
I go back to what, if you are curious, our Renaissance and The Killer episode is available now for you to go listen to.
But yeah, I don't think 1984 was so bad that she doesn't deserve to work again. She seems really excited about the Rogue Squadron movie. Mm-hmm. It's basically going to be Top Gun in space.
Right. I think you mentioned that before.
People love Top Gun. If she mimics that, I think there shouldn't be a reason people don't like it. But I don't know. Star Wars fandom is pre-programmed not to like anything.
They tough, y'all. They oof.
And I say that as a Star Wars fan.
Exactly.
I sit in the crowd with other Star Wars fans looking around like, what is wrong with all of y'all?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you are a Star Wars fan, we are not bashing Star Wars because we watch Star Wars. Right. Y'all get a little reckless in the comments.
Y'all can get real strange. Yeah. And she announced this on a podcast, but nothing official has come from Disney yet. She kind of just dropped, I'm still working on Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, I feel like Disney not going to play her like that.
We'll know coming Comic-Con this year, hopefully.
Probably
they'll say something.
Yeah.
We got another bite from the Cat in the Hat.
Didn't even know this was coming.
Another Cat in the Hat animated film coming out that is going to star Bill Hader as the lead. And this is set to release in 2025. That's a better choice because if it was live action, it would have to compete. He would have to compete against Mike Myers, and he doesn't. I like Bill Hader.
I don't mind Bill Hader.
Mike Myers is literally still.
Mike Myers was Cat in the Hat.
He was the live action Cat in the Hat.
I'm thinking of the Grinch. That's why.
That's exactly why they shouldn't do another live action Grinch. They did it. All the other Grinches after the Jim Carrey Grinch have been animated films and not live action. Yeah, you're right. Because you can't beat Jim Carrey.
Not in that movie. No, absolutely not.
And people love the Grinch. Like it's a religious Christmas movie.
I have seen the original Grinch and the Jim Carrey Grinch multiple times.
People watch them back to back. They'll watch the original
I feel
Grinch,
like I've done that.
and then they'll put the live action one in as if they're watching two separate movies.
I think they do that on like TBS or TNT or one of the channels that play the same movie 5 times in a row. I think they've done that, and I think I've watched that happen in life.
So a Cat in the Hat film is fine. It being animated is fine. I think that's the better choice. Releasing in 2025. I wonder when.
It doesn't say. It just, nowadays.
Like what month?
Nowadays, I feel like they give us year and not month because they're like, we got to see what everybody else doing first.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Summer would probably make the most sense.
I'm going to do this one since it's kind of related.
Okay.
As far as pushbacks. So The Batman, which stars Robert Pattinson and Jeffrey Wright.
Yep.
Oscar nominated
Jeffrey Wright
from American Fiction. Listen to our review. This got pushed back a full year to October 2nd, 2026, which is devastating because we have been waiting for the Batman 2 since the Batman.
End of the credits rolling of Batman 1.
We've been waiting for the Batman 2.
It's funny because when they said that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, I was people who said, excuse me?
Yeah.
The sparkly vampire dude? Then I watched Tenet and I was like, he actually can act. And then I saw Batman and I was like, he actually act real good. Now we have to wait a whole nother year. They say it's because of the strikes, which, sure, I believe it. But it also probably means that they weren't doing nothing before the strikes. No pre-scripting, no casting, no pre-production, the still shots, nothing.
Here's the thing.
Whole year.
Here's the thing.
I don't like it.
Batman Brave and the Bold is still supposed to come out in 2025.
Okay.
So you've pushed the real Batman movie that everybody wants.
The real Batman movie.
Back another year.
The discourse.
I don't think that's going to be good.
Even if Batman Brave and the Bold is good, it doesn't matter because as soon as Batman 2 comes out, everybody's going to forget about Brave and the Bold.
Here's the thing.
Or it's going to be constant, who's the better Batman?
Batman Brave and the Bold.
From the same universe.
Batman Brave and the Bold will be campy. It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be like 10 times... Because they're introducing a child. So it's...
An awful child.
Yeah, an awful child, but...
A demon child.
His child is awful, but he's always played for laughs. Damien is never taken like serious. He's always played as like an awful, brattish, spoiled child who also is capable of killing people. It's always played as like a joke.
Okay.
Even on Teen Titans, he's played for like laughs. But it's going to be compared to the Batman.
Of course.
Because they always compare, all Batman movies are compared against all Batman. It's going to be compared to The Dark Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be compared to
Every superhero movie is compared to The Dark Knight, not just Batman.
But it's going to be, because of recency bias, it's going to be compared to the Batman first.
Yes.
And now it's going to be sandwiched between two Batman films that people know are going to be bangers. Mm-hmm. We know the first Batman is a banger.
Very good.
We know Batman 2 is going to be a banger.
I watched it on the plane. I was like, this movie so good.
It's so good. It's so good. Like, and we know the Batman 2 is going to be a banger.
Yeah. Unless they do something drastically different, I don't see why I wouldn't.
So now it's going to be Batman Brave and the Bold has to be amazing, because people are going to want a sequel to that after seeing the sequel to the Batman.
Yeah, it's perfectly or imperfectly sandwiched between two probably superior Batman movies. We don't know yet. We know the movie's not out and we don't know anything about it, but the Batman was great.
Because what I see happening is this Batman Brave and the Bold coming out, whether it's received good or not, it's going to come out. Then the next year, the Batman 2 will come out. And then after the Batman 2 comes out, I don't think anybody's going to be saying, where's Batman Brave and the Bold 2? They're going to be like, where's the Batman 3?
That's why having two Batmans in one universe is crazy to me.
And he said he wasn't going to do that. And here we are.
Listen, once again, DC fans, don't be in our comments blowing us up. We're going to watch these movies. We just wish for different. That's all. And we also wish for a Batman Beyond movie. Hello.
Andy Muschietti should be worried. James Gunn should be worried, because Eddie Muschietti's last good movie was It Part 1. People did not like It Part 2. And his last
most recent
movie period was The Flash. And I think that's self-explanatory.
I wonder if they're going to try to do the marketing angle where they don't say who the director is. Because, it's
going to be Andy Muschietti.
What I'm saying, where they don't say publicly, like in the marketing.
Oh, they already said that.
Well, no. But I'm talking about with the movie about to roll out, like from Christopher Nolan, from Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, from the directors of this, when they do like a movie and they like, this is from the person from another movie you love.
They probably won't say like, from the director of The Flash.
Or exactly.
They'll say from the director of It.
Or no, they're not going to say nothing at all.
Part 1 and It Part 2.
DC. Brave and the Bold.
But James Gunn was the one who announced Andy Muschietti as a director.
Right.
Who's not going to be worried is Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves. Because they good.
And Oscar-nominated Jeffrey Wright.
Matt Reeves is the one James Gunn was begging to come be in his universe. And Matt Reeves said, no.
I don't want it. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm not happy about that, but we'll be in there opening weekend.
Last piece of news we have on the agenda is there is an Among Us animated show coming out, which
I didn't know about. Did I know about this? I don't know when this was officially even announced.
So what is Among Us? Among Us is a mobile game that came out
during the pandemic, right?
During the pandemic, when everybody was
super
quarantined.
Popular during the pandemic.
Because the point of the game, and I've always wanted to play Among Us, but it's one of those games where you have to play with people you know.
Right.
It's not as fun to play it with strangers. But it's basically a cartoony version of The Thing.
Oh, okay.
The Thing, like the movie. The Thing was about a bunch of scientists being in a facility, and there was one of them was not human and went around picking off the crew members. And you had to guess in the movie which one was the Thing. That's what Among Us is. You play, I think you can play with up to 12 people.
Oh, I didn't know it got that
big. Maybe 10, maybe 12.
That's a lot.
And you can do however many persons can be they're called the imposter in this game instead of the Thing. So out of the 10 of you, up to 10 of you, 1 or 2 of you is an imposter, and they're going around killing crewmates,
sniping people off,
killing the crewmates. And then every round somebody discovers a body, and you have to have a round table discussion, and everybody has to vote and plead their case for why they are not the Thing. And you go around, and the game ends when either enough good people are eliminated to where only the Things remain.
So
only the imposters remain. Right. Or the imposters kill everybody. Or you guess who the imposters are correctly and you vote them out.
Right.
It's very fun. If you're not familiar with it, there's a lot of, it blew up over the pandemic, which was also like a big YouTube boom. So there's a bunch of videos on YouTube of people getting together with their friends and families and playing. And it's very fun because it's all about.
It's also fun to watch.
It's very fun to watch too, because it's all about who in your friend group is a really good liar.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and sussing them out. So this is supposed to star Randall Park, who is been from a bunch of different stuff. You've watched him from Fresh Off the Boat.
Fresh off the boat. He was most recently in Aquaman 2.
Aquaman 2, and he was also in WandaVision.
Yes.
And Ant-Man.
Yep.
So he's in DC and MCU. Yvette Nicole Brown, who's from Community, I believe. Elijah Wood, who's frickin' Frodo.
He's Elijah Wood. Yep.
And Ashley Johnson, who I don't know who she's been in as an actor on television and film, but I know she voiced Ellie in the Last of Us games.
Oh,
she was the voice
her face
and motion
looks
actor.
Familiar.
Yeah,
I was like, I know her.
She was the diner. She was the waitress in Avengers 1 that kept trading looks with Steve Rogers.
I see it.
She had that cameo role.
Okay. I didn't know that they were making this movie.
I thought
that
there was discussion about it, and I was like, this won like a game award for like best indie game or something because it was so low budget but so popular.
Right.
And it's free. So
I wonder who the audience is. Kids, teens, adults.
It depends on show subject matter. Like what type of animated show are we talking about? Are we talking about a kid show, or are we talking like, is this going to be like Adventure Time, or is this going to be like Futurama?
Interesting. Whatever. I think they're going to gear to wherever they think they can get the most crowd. I don't think it'll be like Mario in terms of like,
because it's still about murder.
Correct.
Yeah. Murder is still the main component here.
Sticking point there.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Murder is like the main part here.
And I don't think we got any news about when it's coming out, but most recently they at least announced the voice cast of 4 of the people. So that wraps up our quick bits. We're going to take a quick break and get into our review for Damsel.
Hey, I just listened to another great episode from the Vaguely Nerdy podcast. I enjoyed your take on the movie Parallel. I always learn something new about different actors and different directors and different movies. And I loved your take on the Ripley TV series that's coming out. And I always listen to it every Monday morning. Keep up the good work. What are you waiting for? Peace.
This week we watched Damsel, which premiered on March 8th on Netflix. This was a straight to streaming, no theater release for this. It was directed by Juan Carlos Fernandillo.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm not going to contest that.
I love it. He previously directed, he's mostly done foreign language films. But he previously directed 28 Weeks Later, which is a horror film I have not seen.
I've only seen Days.
Okay, because it's days, weeks, then years.
Years is coming up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
The cast list includes, I should have had this already up.
I have the cast list.
Hit it.
Millie Bobby Brown as the main character named Elodie. Also stars Ray Winston, who was just in Black Widow. Angela Bassett, who's known for being Angela Bassett. Brooke Carter. Nick Robinson as Prince Henry. I believe he was in the Love Victor show?
Jurassic. You talking about the Prince guy? He's from Jurassic World.
He was in the Love Simon spinoff, or he was Love Simon. I think he was Love Simon.
You know him from Jurassic World. He's the older
Love
brother.
Victor. One of those. He was one of those movies, guys. Robin Wright, who is known for being Robin Wright, but she's also been in Wonder Woman, both films, and House of Cards.
Yep.
Milo Taumni and Nicole Joseph.
That's actually more people than I remember being in this movie.
But more importantly, I'm going to try to pronounce her name.
Our favorite.
She is a legend. Shohreh Aghdashloo.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
We know her most as Avasarala from Expanse.
Yes, but she also did very, very good voice work on my favorite video game series, Mass Effect.
She also did voice work in Arcane.
And Arcane.
Netflix.
So yeah.
Yep.
So she has a history in voice work. She's one of those actors, just like why am I drawing a blank on his name? Ralph Ineson.
Yes. I was gonna say who also's name I'm drawing. That was
John Benjamin.
Nope, who was just in American Fiction. And I was like, I didn't know he was in this. I follow him on Twitter.
John Ortiz?
Keith David.
Yes.
Who also does amazing voice work.
Yeah. So like very distinct voice actors that you just know as soon as they enter a
open
scene
up their mouth.
and open their mouth. You're like, I know exactly who that is.
Right.
So that is the main cast of this film.
All right. Runtime was 1 hour and 50 minutes, which was perfect. No.
Good. I don't think time was wasted.
Fair enough. Budget of 60 to 70 million. We don't have official word, but that's what it's estimated at.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't released in theater, so there's no box office, but I did find some Netflix numbers, so we're going to have to trust Netflix on this. 35.3 million views in the first 3 days that it released, so that's pretty much opening weekend numbers if you think about it, because it opened up on a Friday or released on a Friday. 3 days would be typical box office weekend. It's currently ranked 18th on the most viewed Netflix movies in their first week. So there's a chart that basically lists out of the first week a movie is out, here's where it ranks. It's number 18. It has 64.8 million hours viewed on that list. But if you're curious, because you're kind of like, okay, it's number 18, what does that put it against other movies? We're just going to go on this quick tangent here real quick.
Okay.
Most viewed movie in the first week is my favorite movie I hate, which is Red Notice, at 148.7 million views.
People on Netflix have very interesting taste.
Yes.
And
so
what they like to watch.
Right. So at 148.7 million is Red Notice. Another one that is pretty popular, let's see, Don't Look Up is number 2. That's 111 million. Leave the World Behind had 98.1 or 98.7 million views. Somewhere around what Damsel got. Luther, Fallen Sun, which I didn't see. I actually wanted to see that. That got 65.9 million. Damsel's number 18. And then right under Damsel is Harder They Fall with 64.7 million. So it's top 20 is pretty much where it sits in terms of premieres. One thing I did notice, because I was just scrolling this list, is that Mia Coppola is like somewhere in the 60s. That's 70s.
Interesting because Mia
76.
Coppola trended for several days.
It is 76 on the list.
Still did not place high on the list of hours watched, which means that a lot of people started it and did not continue to finish it.
Or people just didn't watch it.
You know, I saw a lot of people actually say they started it and turned it off.
Okay,
so
well, never mind.
That coincides with the low amount of minutes watched.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so back to Damsel. I just wanted to put some context around them numbers, because saying a figure with no context is kind of pointless. Ratings-wise, it doesn't have a cinema score because it wasn't in theaters. Rotten Tomatoes critic score is a 56, which means only about half of the people who saw it liked it, critics-wise. Audience score is a 67, which is better. That means 6 out of 10-ish people who saw the movie liked the movie. So could be better, could be worse. I think I would have rated it a little higher than a 67.
I think 67 and 56 are harsh.
Fair. I would agree with that.
I think that's harsh.
I would agree. It wasn't a bad movie. And I would give a bad movie like a 56, 67, in my opinion.
It definitely, I think it deserved to be in the 70s.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. So let's jump into the summary of what this movie was. You want to do it or you want me to do it?
I can do the summary of the plot.
Spoiler-free summary.
Sure. So I'll just give the bland synopsis that's
go.
given.
It is a straightforward movie. I'll put it that way.
So the film stars Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things as Elodie, who accepts a marriage proposal only to realize that she is being used to repay a royal family's ancient debts and must now escape while surviving attacks from the dragon lurking in the chasm in which she was thrown.
That's a perfect plot summary, by the way.
Yep.
So let's get into who we liked and who we didn't like in this particular movie.
I don't have a character that I didn't like.
I do.
Well, you know what? I didn't like the little sister.
Dang, that's not who I was going to say.
Oh. I didn't like the little sister. I mean, she was cool, but she was like...
She was very little sister-y.
A chatty, like, brat. I did like the fact that Angela Bassett plays like the stepmother to these girls. So I did like the fact that she wasn't the wicked stepmother.
Yes.
That's a very easy trope for these types of movies to go into.
Right.
But I don't have anybody that I didn't like, and it's not because of bad acting to me, but even the side characters, like Robin Wright is a side character.
Technically.
Who has a pretty small, important role, but small. And her son, they just weren't in it long enough for me to dislike them, I guess.
I didn't like the dad.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't like the dad as a character. The dad was awful. Yeah.
I didn't even like his acting. It was very much...
I was fine with his acting.
He also isn't... Millie Bobby Brown is in this movie the most. So everybody else in this movie is in it for maybe a third of the time that she is.
Okay.
And he was just kind of like... And maybe it's more so because I didn't like his character and not necessarily him. But there's a plot point where I was like, I know he ain't doing what I think he doing. And then he did it and I was like... yeah, we're gonna chuck this man off a bridge or something
Yeah.
because like the way this is
The
going.
irony.
Right. So I don't know. That is funny. I don't know if I don't like the acting or if I just didn't like the character. So maybe I liked everybody. I just didn't like this particular character.
His acting was fine, but his character, I don't think we were supposed to like his character.
I guess, but it didn't really indicate, like, I don't know.
So Millie Bobby Brown plays Elodie, which we said is the main character. She is a princess of this downtrodden nation, kingdom.
They starving or something.
Yeah, they're not like rich.
They going through a famine.
It's giving Winterfell
Okay.
from the beginning of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But it's not giving.
Not in scale.
Well, let me see.
It does look like a small little shanty town that they... Because Elodie's the princess, and then Angela Bassett's, I guess, technically queen, because she's their mom. And then the dad is the king of whatever this desolate, starving village is.
Yeah. So the kingdom that Robin Wright is over dominion of is giving Winterfell. Elodie's kingdom is like the north.
Yeah,
They're
yes.
like in the snow with the wolves. They're not as fortunate, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to survive the winter.
Right.
Ray Winston plays
The
Lord
dad,
Bayford,
king.
who is the king, who is Elodie's dad. Angela Bassett plays Lady Bayford, who is Ray Winston's wife, the queen.
Yes. Clearly not their biological mother, by the way.
Right. I have some notes about that. But
I
anyway.
have a note about it, but go ahead.
And then they have a younger daughter who's a younger princess named Floria.
Also not Angela Bassett's daughter.
Right. Who plays like the supportive. I think it's pretty clear that their mother has passed.
Yes.
At some point after the birth of the youngest daughter.
Yes.
So they're traveling over to Queen Isabel's kingdom, which is Robin Wright, because they've received a marriage proposal, because that's how things went. They send a scribe. They say, we want to marry your daughter and join our kingdoms for the purpose of making money.
Right.
So they journey over there, do the whole marriage ceremony.
Right.
Angela Bassett, while they're like doing preparation, Millie Bobby Brown's getting to know the prince, because, you know, that's how marriages went. You meet them. You introduce to each other for a day and you're married the next.
Pretty much.
Angela Bassett being Angela Bassett, her intuition bells start ringing. She's like, Robin Wright is nasty. She's a nasty woman.
She's Underwood, just like she was in House of Cards.
Right. So Angela Bassett's like, these people seem weird.
Right.
These people seem strange.
Right.
I don't think you should marry them.
Before you continue, should we say spoilers now? Because I'm kind of thinking ain't really a lot of spoilers here.
Yeah, I mean,
as we're describing it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's really anything to spoil.
Right. So we'll just say from here on out, we're gonna spoil the movie. 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
Yeah.
But as you were talking about the plot, I'm like, you could pretty much guess everything that happens in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of my notes. One of my notes is this is like a live action version of an old Disney princess movie that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's that paint by numbers.
It is very paint by numbers.
It's a live I was watching this movie this is what I feel like the live action Cinderella looks like.
Okay.
Or
okay.
I think
because you already know the end. You just kind of here for the middle.
Watching Beauty and the Beast or watching live action Cinderella,
you know how it's going.
Or Snow White. Yeah, I'm like this fits in line. That's why I feel like the score is harsh, because I'm like, there's no difference between this other than this is taken just a little bit more seriously.
A little. I mean, there's more
as far as mortality,
right, and injuries and whatnot. Yes,
this is just a little bit more graphic, but this falls in line with all of the other live action Disney princess stuff.
I
don't
some of the
see why people think this is just so bad.
Right, I read some of the critic reviews, and they were saying how it's kind of like it wants to be a monster horror movie, and I was like,
I don't think so.
Where?
I think it just does. What this movie does a good job of is it makes the villain's frightening.
The dragon?
The dragon is frightening.
Absolutely.
The dragon is like small, like the dragon is sinister.
I almost thought the dragon. I was like, this dragon sounds too big to fit in this case.
The dragon is like,
how is she fitting in here? She's huge.
Yeah, the dragon is huge, but also the dragon is like,
she don't get no cares about
the dragon
anything.
Is like more sinister than Smaug.
Because since we're in spoilers, so the thing is that Robin Wright's kingdom comes, finds daughters for the sons, gets them married, but they have this horrible they have this horrible curse, we'll just call it, on them, where they have to sacrifice the daughters that the sons marry, so the wives, to this dragon, because her people from way, way, way back in the day, centuries ago, killed,
in the name of colonization.
Right. Went into this cave, this dragon lair, and killed the dragon's babies.
Yeah, killed the 3 dragon babies.
And that's all the dragon had. So she was like, yeah, I'll let your town continue to live, but you got to sacrifice 3 people, 3 women every generation.
Every generation, 3 daughters specifically. You have
Right.
to sacrifice
So
3 daughters.
Millie Bobby Brown, she gets married. She goes, she don't know none of this. And like you were saying, Angela Bassett had a feeling something wasn't right, and she was like, don't get married. But the dad is like, no, this has to go. This is for our people, whatever. And this is the point where I was like, I know the dad is not sacrificing his daughter.
Yeah,
knowing that they about to chuck her off a bridge.
I had a little bit of benefit of the doubt, and they fully committed to the fact that he was okay with this.
I was like, I was thinking, because the king has a conversation with the queen. It's behind closed doors. Angela Bassett's not in there. And he comes out all disheveled, and she's like, yo, what's going on? What's up? Is everything all right? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, I know he don't know that. He can't know that they about to kill his daughter. And he did the whole time.
My thought was maybe they undersold what they were doing to him. Maybe they told him. Maybe they told him like she has to like go through trials or something. But he was actually committed to.
Yes.
I will let you feed my daughter
to a dragon.
Throw her in a pit.
Yes.
And feed her to a dragon.
And we don't know this until maybe towards the last third of the movie.
In exchange for gold.
Yeah. Yes.
And he comes back and says that. Like, yeah, I absolutely did that.
One of my first notes says, parents willing to marry the daughter off for some citizens? Boo.
Yeah.
That's very paint by numbers. But also, that's why I didn't like the dad so much, because it was just kind of like, sir, they told you what the deal was, and you were like, just put the money in the bag.
Yeah, because it's irredeemable. He
Absolutely.
was irredeemable at that point.
Absolutely.
And spoiler alert, when he dies, I was like, yeah, you absolutely have to.
Deserved
There's
it.
Totally
deserved it.
It's out of character for Angela Bassett's character to forgive you. Even though these aren't even her kids.
Nope.
But it's still out of character for her to forgive you. It's out of character for these girls to forgive you.
Absolutely.
Even if they do survive. So you have to die.
Get him out of here.
There's nowhere for you to go after
Get him out of here.
Yeah. So when they killed him, I was like, yeah, absolutely perfect.
I will give the movie the benefit that it moves pretty quick. Like, we get to the town.
The beginning is a little slow.
Okay.
Until they get to the kingdom, I feel like they take their time.
They could have cut out the part. I didn't really care about the fact that her and the prince were bonding, because we all knew it was a ruse. Like, I was dude, you're faking, obviously.
That moment was pointless in the film, because they showed in the trailer him willingly throwing her in the pit.
Oh, see, I missed that in the trailer.
That was in the trailer. Like, he carries her and he throws her in the pit.
I knew she fell down there, but
like,
I missed that part.
This would have played better if we did not know he was in on it. Kind of like Ready or Not. Ready or Not, there was a reveal that he knew
the whole time
hide and seek meant that they were going to have to hunt her down and kill her.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they could have saved that, because that would have made that whole bonding scene interesting, because I'm just kind of like, why are we doing this? We know he bad. So
yeah, and it doesn't matter whether they bond. Well, it just made her look sad, because it's like, girl, we're sad for you, because you're falling
about to
in love
get
with this
chucked
dude who's about to chuck you in
off a bridge.
Chasm.
Right. So she gets chucked off her bridge. She falls down into this pit and somehow survives. Don't break no neck or bones on the way down. But we gonna put
Clearly
that.
None of them do.
None of the women do that they put down there. The one thing that was my first nitpick, I guess this would be a thing I didn't like about the movie, was Millie Bobby Brown screaming. The first, for 30 minutes straight, she didn't do nothing but hollering. Like, when she falls, she hollers.
I didn't mind that.
But it's like it wasn't just screaming, it was the painful groans, it was the struggle climbing. She was just like, the octaves was just way high.
This is a literal thought that I had while watching it.
I had to turn my TV down.
I was like, I can't say that I enjoy Castaway so much. But then say I don't enjoy the part where the character spends a large chunk of the movie freaking out most of it, because that's mostly what Tom Hanks does in the beginning of Castaway.
I did mind her freaking out. It was just it was just loud. Maybe them scenes, they turned up the set sound or something, was turn this part up and let everything else
like,
be
we can't
normal.
call Tom Hanks a genius for being mentally deranged, stuck on this island thinking he was going to die, and then be like, well, when Billy Bobby Brown does it, she's annoying. It's like, well, because it's an awful situation.
Right. It was just a little, like, it was like a lot of back-to-back scenes of her struggling, obviously, because she's got thrown down this pit. She gets set on fire a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm about to say, Tom Hanks had less opposition.
Correct. She did have a dragon after her, so I will give her some grace. But the homegirl was screaming at the top of her lungs.
She was.
Another thing that was crazy, you mentioned that the dragon wasn't nice. So this is not like a Dragonheart dragon.
Oh, no.
She's toying with her.
This is probably the most sinister dragon I've seen in a movie.
She doesn't just straight up kill the girls that come down there. She like lets them try to flail around.
It's cat and mouse.
There it is. Try to find her way out or whatever. And she's like, you lasting a little longer than the other ones. Cool, this is fun. I guess I have something to do now.
And I love the fact where every time Millie Bobby Brown, so after she's thrown into the chasm, I'm gonna stop calling her Millie Bobby Brown and just call her Elodie.
Okay.
After Elodie is thrown into the chasm, and she has a couple.
Got too many names.
She has a couple run-ins with the dragon.
Right.
It creepily. It starts with just speaking to her, and you only see pieces of it moving in a shadow. You don't see the full dragon. You don't get a sense of the size of the dragon until the third act of the movie.
It just sounds like she's too big.
But it sounds like Smaug, where like you couldn't tell how big he was because he was under the gold everywhere. That's kind of how she was, but like in the darkness, you would see a piece of her tail or a piece of her face, but you couldn't see her whole body. But anyway, if you know who Show Ray is and you've seen her and stuff, she's got a very distinct voice. Yes. It's very easy for her to sound scary.
Yes.
She's got like an Anthony Hopkins effect to her voice.
It's Keith David.
Skin crawly.
Yeah. It's very much Keith David.
And she's taunting her and she's telling her like, you know, this is my favorite part. She's telling her to run. Yeah. She asked her name first. She said, what is this name? Yeah. Because she gets the sense of, this is easy for her. She just
be doing this for centuries.
Be chomping y'all up.
Right.
But what I loved about it was whenever she would encounter the dragon and have to escape it, she would always escape it to a place where another princess died. Yes. Because as the movie goes, they've been doing this for generations. So there are lots of princess corpses and there are lots of tiaras that are in this pit.
Shoes and dresses from
other princesses who have died. Not a lot of skeletons because clearly the dragon gets them at some point, eats them.
Yes.
But cave markings
or burns their bones so bad.
Burns their bones up. There are cave markings. There are torn up pieces of dresses of gowns that are down there.
Remains.
But every time she escapes the dragon's like, last girl ran into this corner too.
There's actually a spot she runs into and the drawing says not safe.
Yeah.
She's like, right before, don't come here.
There are a couple of dragon jump scares that I know. And right after a couple of the jump scares and Elodie gets to a place where the dragon can't reach, there's usually a cave mark and it says, this is not a good place.
Go back.
It's like right next to a corpse.
Right. Yes. There was, I think it's the one jump scare where she thought, so she's trying to climb up. She sees the sun. She found this map and this map tells her to go up to where it looks like the sun is. So she gets up there after almost getting eaten by the dragon. So she can only go up because if she goes down, she's going to fall right in the dragon's mouth. So she gets all the way up to the top of this little cave or whatever, sees the sunlight, wide shot, and she is literally, I don't know, a bazillion feet in the air. She can't
She's on the
jump.
side of a mountain.
She's stuck. And she's hollering because she sees some men down on the ground who later we found out is actually her daddy who decided to be a human being and try to save his daughter now. Anywho, she's like screaming, help me, help me, help me. And what we don't see is the dragon is not stuck in the cave, by the way. Dragon got free mobility to move about the cabin called Earth and zooms into her screaming and tries to eat her from the little thing that she's dangling from. I was like, I didn't even see her coming. Yeah. And when she gets back there, when she falls back from the dragon trying to eat her, there's a corpse and there's a sign drawn that says, not safe.
Yeah, not safe here. And
X.
Fire.
Yeah. Yeah, so they was trying to give her clues. The only nitpick I had about that was, I was like, how? You know what? Now it makes sense. When I saw her see the drawing that showed the sun, like her going up to the little spot to get to the sun, I was like, now how did that girl draw this if she made it out? Because she didn't make it out. She came back down and drew the finishing. I was like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
So that's sad, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it is.
I was
she
like,
had to retreat back to the
yes,
location.
I was like, how did she draw this if she escaped?
So you get the sense that a lot of them probably starved to death.
Yeah.
And that little, there's like one section of the cave where the dragon can't get to.
And it says you're safe here or safe
and
or
Elodie
something.
has a dream where she imagines we see all the other princesses there. There's a wall that has all of their names. They scratch all their names in them.
Quite a few names.
They scratch like the routes that they've taken that were successful, the routes that were unsuccessful, and they kind of like all together scrapboard this map. Yeah. From all these generations of women, and they haven't done this together. They all do this alone before they die. And I thought that was really good. I thought that added that added element that you would not see in like a Disney princess movie.
A desperation.
Yeah.
For sure. Because it was like, she's kind of like, who made it? She was like, who made it out of here?
There's at least 12 names on that list.
Oh, it's long.
And she's like, did any of them make it out? And then she just realizes, you watch her kind of come to the conclusion, like, I'm just going to be another name on this cave wall.
Yes.
Like, this dragon is going to eat me. Just like it ate all of these girls, because I don't have any special skills that make me different from any of them.
Right. My next note says, her dad shows up. How? So that is when I realized, so her dad, the person that she's screaming at from the tippy top where she was at, is her dad. And he's got like 2 or 3 men with him. So her dad has shown up to save her. And I was like, hold up. You mean to tell me that you knew, this is where I made this discovery.
So then for a second,
the whole time you went home, was like, you know what? I actually probably shouldn't sacrifice my daughter to a dragon. Let me go get her. And you knew exactly where to find her.
And because this movie is it's not a Disney, but it's a princess movie. I was like, I still gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, this is where I was like, maybe he found out. Because I found it strange after she marries the prince and Angela Bassett and her sister and her dad go home. I was like, well, when is Angela Bassett going to find out what happened? So I was thinking maybe they found out what the real ceremony was, because I was still under the impression of he wouldn't do this. I think that they undersold what they were actually going to do.
Interesting.
To him, so it doesn't seem as bad. But then he finds out, y'all threw my daughter in a pit. I'm gonna go get her.
All right,
but that's not what happens. No. I was wrong.
And good for you for going positive first, because I was immediate like, you should die.
Oh yeah, because but I mean, I only thought that for a second,
right?
Because my next note was, no. This does not make him a redeemable character.
My note says he knew, explanation point, kill him, explanation point.
Yeah. It was like, he's still a trash father for putting her through
yes
this. Like,
absolutely.
I don't care that I don't even care if he agreed to it knowing from the beginning, yeah, I'm gonna let them throw her in the pit, but as soon as they throw her down there, I'm gonna go get her.
No,
I don't even care if that was his thought process,
because one of the guys with him is like, dude, she dead. Like, it's been a couple of days. I don't think she out here alive.
Also, there is no guarantee that anybody survives the fall.
She falls, I don't know, a couple 1,000 feet.
Yeah, a couple 1,000 stories into this mountain
screaming pit. She's doing that Loki, I've been falling for 30 minutes.
Yeah, she falls for a very long time.
And lives somehow.
So you have to suspend your disbelief that they all live from the fall.
Exactly.
But
at least 2 didn't.
She falls, no broken bones, no cracked skulls, no fractures.
She's just dirty.
She just kind of like disheveled and dirty. And wounded just a bit, but she's completely mobile. It's
the fact that the fam, like you said, we got to suspend our disbelief, because the family also assumes that the girls make it down there, because they get down there and they immediately wake up and start screaming.
Yeah.
So I guess they're like,
she was out for a while, because when she was getting married, it was daytime. They were in the pit, and then by the time she comes to after being thrown in the pit, it's dark and everybody's gone. Yeah, the torches are out and everything.
So they don't even know if the girls make it.
So they kind of throw her in and just leave.
Peace out.
Pack up and leave.
We hope this worked. And then go back to have dinner, I guess.
So I have another. Do you have any other note?
Dragon design was interesting.
Loved the CGI. That's a note.
They didn't make it the typical. It's like the front legs of the dragon were maybe shorter.
It was like a.
It didn't look it looked different than you would typically see a dragon.
It was like Spyro. scary version of Spyro the Dragon.
Yes, I'd agree with
where
you.
it was off on all fours like a dog, and it had wings.
It was given a little bit of T-Rex in the body.
Like a little Cerberus
Yeah.
in the body. Yeah, it was very dinosaur-esque, even though dragons are clearly dinosaur-esque. But it was very like...
Yeah, it was given different.
It was something that B.D. Wong would have made as a new attraction at Jurassic Park.
Okay.
That would have killed all the T-Rexes.
Yeah, it was definitely given scary.
And it had a sinister face.
Eyes, scales, tail.
I feel like the CGI for the dragon was great.
Also have nice costuming. So this is set in some sort of like medieval, think Lord of the Rings style, maybe not House of Dragon. I guess that's fair. House of Dragon type costuming. So this is not current day at all. But the costuming was also good.
I had a note, glad to see they still have good makeup in medieval time, because even after she woke up in a pit, her makeup was impeccable.
Right. Anything let's so we did what we liked, what we didn't like. Anything we would change?
I don't think there was anything I would change, only because this movie did a lot more than I expected. That was another note. Was I feel like they're putting a lot of work into this movie. Yeah. That we didn't necessarily ask for, but they're going the distance. One note I had under that was the wedding dressing scene. When they show you the whole scene of putting somebody in a royal gown. Yeah, it's like, think Little Mermaid. And it takes like 30 seconds.
When she gets dressed and she's doing the song.
But longer.
Yes.
And there's no music. So it's just like her being dressed by like 4 other women, and we're watching
and they're not very nice about it.
They're not very nice, and it makes sense in the end game why, because they have to dress these 3 girls to be killed in these gowns. So what was the point? Right. But yeah, they show the whole scene of them getting her prepped for a wedding in that time period, and it's a lot of work, and by the end of it she looks exhausted, and I was like, they didn't have to film that, but
they did. It was a nice little detail to show how into this scam that they go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically. It seemed very period accurate.
Yes. Correct.
The first time I realized that the movie had gotten dark was the ceremony scene.
Yeah, they do a little eyes wide shut with the mask. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave that for random notes, but anything I would change? No, not really.
I don't think I would change anything. I guess I would have liked to see more of
dialogue. Was a little meh.
Dialogue was meh. Nobody had any like groundbreaking lines. There are a couple cheesy lines in this where you're like, yes, I get it. We're in a you're a woman, hear me war type situation. What would I change? I don't think you needed the sister, but the sister was a plot device. So we didn't say this, but Elodie makes it out of the cave. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, because she makes it out of the cave, that don't count as a sacrifice. So Robin Wright's kingdom people try to go get the sister, and they do get the sister. Mm-hmm. And then they throw the sister off the bridge. She still survives. And the dragon is like, no. I don't want the sister. I'm about to hold the sister captive so homegirl come back, because now I want to kill her behind. So I guess she was just more of a plot device, which I guess it was fine. Yeah. I feel like they needed to go that angle, but it was cute, I guess.
I liked the fact that she didn't become, because at one point when they threw her in the pit and she was down there for a while, I was like, okay, so how are they going to transform this girl who has no battle experience into a dragon slayer? It's like they're going to clearly turn her into this action star.
I have a note about that.
I like the fact that they didn't.
No.
She didn't become like a dragon slayer. It wasn't.
She kind of turned into Tomb Raider a little bit, though.
A little bit, but I mean, the most she did was like do a really long jump, do a really long dive. She didn't like. We see that she didn't really do like crafting or anything. She set up a trap kind of with like you would set up a trap with like pots and pans, but she didn't turn into Rey Skywalker, which I thought that she was going to do.
She didn't turn into a superhero.
She ultimately, in
the midst of being down there,
she ultimately wins just by like outwitting her.
Yes,
outwitting the dragon and with her words, which is more reasonable for that type of character, because it's not like she's not Joan of Arc.
No.
So I was expecting her to transform.
She didn't turn into Black Widow in the midst of fighting this dragon.
This experience didn't make her stronger.
mentally, but not physically.
Yes.
No.
Fortified her mentally, but she did not become like an action star in this, and I enjoyed
Correct.
that because it gave
Although
them
there was a little scene where she's like, I have one note that says, "Come on, Bob," because she like cuts her hair.
That's another note.
And rips off her clothes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
She kind of she kind of jizzes up a little bit while she down there. I'm like, well, I don't know why you cut your hair into a bob, but okay, girl, go ahead.
My third to last note is good girls go bad when they acquire the bob.
Okay.
Because they always do that in any type of movie.
Perfectly cut bob,
where
by the
a woman
way.
is facing like life-threatening opposition,
Gotta
and she
cut her
has
hair.
long hair. If she's already got long hair, the first thing she does is cut it into a bob. If she's already got a bob, like
She shaves it off.
like Claire, who I was gonna say, if she's already got a bob like Claire in Jurassic World, it turns from a straight bob to a kinky curly bob.
Yeah, it get a little
to a
wavy.
distressed bob.
Get a little wavy and wet. She get the wet and wavy
So
popping.
I was like, that's officially a trope.
Yes.
The woman, the transition to bob is officially a
with
trope.
with the fast cuts, it's like
Long kiss goodnight. The very
Ching,
first thing
ching.
she did was
cut
her
her
hair off and dye it blonde and turn it into a bob. Bob is like that's where action,
That's when you know
women in action draw their strength from the power.
That's
of the bob.
when you know she about to turn up is when
Right.
she cut her hair into a bob specifically, not just anything.
It can't be anything.
Not a mohawk, not a taper cut.
It has
bob.
to be bob.
Specifically with a knife that she made herself.
Yes.
Or some jagged edge scissors.
Let's see. Was there anything that you liked specifically about it,
The whole
other than CGI?
I like that it was an easy, entertaining watch. Like, there was no egregious. Some of the CGI was a little wonky. Some of the dialogue was a little cheesy. But I like that it was colored by numbers. I know that's typically not a what do you want to say? The good thing about a movie, but it was very straight to the point. They didn't try to make it too deep or dynamic. They didn't have to add no type of complex plot line. They just kind of worked with what they had and made a good, entertaining movie.
I liked, for me specifically, two things. I liked the dark parts of it because it starts off like foo-foo princess story. And I was like, oh, I don't know how much I'm going to do of this.
After they chuck her off the bridge.
And then it kind of ends foo-foo.
It does.
It was doing good. And then that ending, I was like, this ending does not belong in this film.
You talking about the
after
ending
the events of things that we watched,
where she leaves with all the gold to go back home and the dragons riding alongside her?
and they're friends. I'm like,
Yeah, they cool. They
after
peeps.
the movie we watched, this is not the ending for that film. This is the ending
Right.
for a film that didn't have the murders.
Yes, because the very end of the film is, so she ends up stabbing the dragon in the eye. But one thing we also didn't mention is that there's like these magical slugs.
No, she okay,
And stabbed her
even though she doesn't,
and cut the hand.
even though she defeats the dragon, it's not from her strength, her skill of fighting.
just really
The
fast.
dragon kind of like clumsily goes at her.
Yeah,
Like
you're right.
the dragon puts itself in a position to be stabbed in the eye, even though she warned her.
She did.
She told the dragon, "I'm gonna stab you in the eye."
And the dragon was like, "That's not gonna kill me, but it's gonna piss me off."
The dragon pressed his luck and she found out.
Yes, she found out
she
today.
got her eye stabbed out. So I'll give her that. I won't say that they Mary sued her. I'll be like, she told the dragon she was gonna stab in the eye.
She did. I mean,
she followed up on her commitment.
She had to, because she had to get out of there.
Then the dragon grabbed her and she said, "Let me go." She didn't, so she stabbed her in the hand.
She
So
did.
she crippled the dragon twice. The dragon kind of walked into that.
And then stabbed her in the eye.
Then stabbed her in the eye.
Or she like I do have a note that says
She took her dagger and stabbed her in the eye. And then the dragon tried to grab her, so she took her sword and stabbed her in the hand.
Yes,
So the dragon is blind in one eye and
and a
crippled.
limp hand.
Right. And
They actually showed the dragon walking injured, because
Like-
she's like limping towards her, about to burn her up to a crisp. And Millie Bob or Elodie does this little maneuver, and the fire ends up kicking back up on the dragon. Now the dragon has a half burnt an eye that's poked in, and a bum hand.
And I like the fact that when she gave her the bum hand, when the dragon's like limping towards her, the wing twitches, even though the wing isn't wounded at all. I'm like, that's realistic, because when one part of your body hurts and you have to limp, like if you stub your toe and limp, like other parts of your body twitch, because it's just the overall pain of just being wounded.
Right. Oh, okay. Another thing I did like that she essentially saves the dragon. So there's these healing slugs that are down there that also provide light. So she puts all these slugs in a bag or in like a ripped up piece of clothing and uses those as light. But she also finds out that the slugs are healing because they end up landing on a burn or whatever that she
because the
gets.
dragon basically spits not fire, but I want to say magma.
Lava. Yeah, exactly. It's
like the liquidiest magma.
super hot.
Yeah.
So she's all burned up, but the slugs end up getting on her from walking in the water, and she finds out by taking them off that they're healing. So she takes the slugs at the end of the movie, puts them on a dragon so that the dragon basically heals. So at the very end of the movie, we see her riding off with all the gold from the jacked up town to her hometown, and the dragon appears to be following her home as well.
So how does she defeat the dragon? Basically, after she tricks the dragon into burning herself, she heals her and she tells her, hey, the deal that you made with these white people about them having to sacrifice a daughter every generation to keep you satisfied, they've been lying to you.
Hogwash.
All the girls that they've been throwing in this pit are not their daughters. What they do is they do this weird eyes wide shut ceremony where they cut our hands and make us shake hands with the prince so that their blood is on us.
Right.
And then they just throw a bunch of random girls in this pit. And because we have the scent of that family, you think that we're all their daughters, and they've just been feeding you like random innocent girls, just like your innocent babies.
And dragon ain't like that.
Dragon ain't like that. So the dragon and her team up. And they go burn the kingdom down. And,
rightfully so.
And they burn Robin Wright Penn to pieces.
And the son. And whoever else decided to be an idiot and stay alone. And her stewards
that decided to stay in the kingdom.
Correct.
And after that, we just get... It ends very quickly after that.
Oh, they wrap it up real nice.
Dragon rides back with her to the kingdom. Elodie says, y'all ain't kill me, but y'all ain't even got to be worried about me because Dragon Homegirl is here. Dragon
to
Girl
finish y'all off.
Finishes them all off, and they ride off into the sunset.
Actually, my very last note is I like the ending.
I thought it was too cheesy.
It's cheesy, but given
why is the dragon going with her?
That part, okay, that's the cheese. But I mean, I like the ending in terms of her saving the dragon, her and the dragon teaming up, and then the dragon burning all them people to a crisp.
Yeah, that made sense.
And then them getting the gold to be able to take back home. So they don't got to go back home to the hood, essentially.
Right.
Which is where they came from. So I like that part. Now, I don't get why the dragon needed to go, because at this point, like, it's not like she was stuck in the cave, so she could always go wherever she wanted. Maybe it was for protection in case
I think the dragon just wanted to stay there because of the deal, but now that the kingdom is burned to a crisp and there's
she don't
no
have
deal,
to stay.
She doesn't have to.
And maybe she doesn't necessarily stay with Elodie's family. It's just a sign that the dragon is now mentally free to move wherever.
Right.
Maybe.
Any other notes that you have?
No, that was all my notes. Although now I'm thinking about it, I would have liked if they would have made it to where one of the eggs, like there was another egg somewhere.
I don't think this needs a sequel.
Not as a sequel, just as the dragon will have a daughter one day because there was an egg left.
I mean, does the dragon deserve a daughter? It's still, everybody has done something terrible except for Elodie. Everybody has either killed an innocent woman or sacrificed an innocent woman.
She did it under false pretenses. Free the dragon.
And the dragon, and it doesn't seem like those other princesses went peacefully. So I don't know if the dragon deserves a happy ending necessarily. Struggled. It's still a monster.
It's kind of like, what's our favorite person that's a villain? Lord of the Rings. Not Lord of the Rings. Star Wars.
Kylo Ren?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Kylo Ren situation where he definitely killed some people, but I see why.
Well, Kylo Ren was betrayed by the good people. The dragon was just
different. I'm sure they started off good at some point in the centuries.
Maybe because we didn't get all of Kylo Ren's victims in graphic detail.
Okay, fine.
Expositing how he killed them graphically.
Okay, sure.
So maybe it seems better.
Okay.
Random notes I have. Angela's royal accent is very African. Her royal British accent is very African. I was like,
they got it from the Caribbean.
This is the slave trade.
I do have that Angela looks too good for the king.
She does.
She look way.
Ray Winston is not bagging Angela Bassett. I'm sorry.
Listen, he would have bagged her if he looked like the Black Widow guy.
Yeah.
Then he at least looked decent then.
Yeah,
now he looked downtrodden and broke. So whatever.
No. But yeah, the ceremony scene. Back to that note.
Mm-hmm.
So the ceremony scene, he walks up, he tells her like this tale about they have this ceremony to honor their ancestors. He gives her some bull crap. She goes through with it because she thinks she's just being officially coronated.
Right.
as
into the family.
Into the family. So she gets there. It's very eyes wide shut. It's very everybody's in weird masks to where you can't identify them, which is weird because you do that. Eyes wide shut was to keep everybody's identity secret because y'all are freaky. This is weird because y'all gonna kill her. Why are y'all masking up? Why do you have to do this weird cult stuff?
That was maybe an extra that didn't need to be.
But that goes into my note. I was like, minus the dragon, royal families probably did weird stuff like this to women back then. And I said, this is exactly why rich people do the weird stuff that they do now because it's inherited.
Right.
Rich people have always been
doing weird stuff to keep the wealth.
Yeah, the weird, I fly you to the Ghislaine Maxwell weird stuff that they do now. This is exactly why, because probably they've done this from all time.
That and the fact that there's multiple stories of ancient kingdoms and whatnot sacrificing people for some weird tale that somebody told them from when somebody was a baby long ago.
Yeah, I said this makes sense. In current times, rich people have weird interest in art, spend their money on very weird
and they always
questionable things,
targeting the poor.
Stuff like, I was like, they probably did throw women in pits.
They probably did.
Back then.
I mean, they used to burn women for thinking they were witches.
They used to,
this ain't too far.
That was like, this rating is harsh because, I don't know, a lot of this, even though you got to suspend your disbelief from the fantasy elements.
The fact there's a dragon.
I said minus the dragon.
Right.
The rest of this seems period accurate.
Yeah. It's like a Castlevania where the preacher guy was telling everybody that, they had to burn the main character because she was a witch. And she like, no, dog, I'm just trying to get y'all medicine. And they're like, no, burn her.
When Dracula's head literally appeared in the sky
and they were
from flames, and the priest was like,
don't worry about that.
The priest was like, it's cool. Don't be fooled by this false demon. It was like, I don't care if it's false. It has the power.
I seen it.
To conjure its face in fire.
And I can't do that. So I'm going to go. So you're right.
Right.
This was probably period accurate minus the dragon.
I did like the dragon jump scares. There were some scenes where the dragon just popped up.
Yep.
The scene, and it was I love the fact that the dragon was scary. I have several notes about loving when she gets to the crystal cave, because this cave has a bunch of different sections. It's almost like a video game. And she gets to the crystal cave and she sees a tiara on the ground, because you're supposed to use the tiara to loop around the crystals that are sticking out to climb this rock wall.
Right.
And she gets up, she starts climbing, she gets pretty high up, and the dragon shows up at the bottom like, yeah, girl, I be eating the girls that be climbing.
And just got her mouth wide open. So we see the dragon's like huge mouth, her throat, her teeth, and she just chilling like, as soon as you fall, it's going to be on.
Yeah.
And I was also, how the heck did she get there? When did she get there?
Yeah.
Because she's huge.
The dragon is massive, but
she got a good sneak attack.
I love the fact that the dragon was also ruthless.
Yeah,
it didn't spend too much time waiting for her.
No.
It kind of just like stalked her and would pop up wherever she showed up at.
There's another ruthless scene where when the dad shows up and she's got the dad either pinned down or held down or whatever, and she tells the dad, call the daughter out because I want to kill her. And the dad's like, don't. Eventually he says, Elodie, I want you to listen to me. Don't you come out here. And she like, for real, that's how we gonna do it.
And she kills him. But I did like the fact that when the dad showed up to get her, the dad was like, and the dad came face to face with the dragon after the dragon killed all his dudes. He begged for his life at the dragon's feet, and he said, please, I'll give you anything you want. Forgive me for coming down. Forgive me, And the dragon's like, no, it's not me you need to forgive. He was like, Elodie, go on, come out here and listen to what this man got to say.
Yeah.
And she was like, tell her why she down here. Tell her why I'm about to chomp her up.
Right.
And
chomp both of y'all.
And then he confesses like, yes, I agreed to have you thrown in this pit and fed to this dragon.
Please forgive me.
For gold,
blah,
but
blah.
after I got the gold, I just couldn't live with myself, so I came back to get you. And I love the fact that the dragon was just like, yeah, you gonna come clean, and then I'm gonna kill you.
And then I'm gonna kill her too. Chop, chop.
Right. 2
chops to the throat.
So I loved that.
Yeah, it was a good, entertaining watch.
It was entertaining.
Which is why we both said, I don't agree with the rating. It feels a little too low for me.
Yeah. So who would like this movie? I feel like this is a good family movie. It may be a little dark for younger kids.
PG-13.
Yes, PG-13.
Sure.
There's not gore, but there's definitely blood.
There's torture.
Burns.
Some birds get lit up.
There's some,
which was very depressing scene.
That was.
It was good, but like, oh my god,
it was sad because I thought it was a Firefly, And then she picks it up and you see it's a flaming bird. And then you see the cloud of birds
and
that
on
are
fire.
and they all die. And I was like,
because the bird's like flapping around and you think it's like a flame. And then you see it's a bird. And then you see all the birds come in. And it's like, oh, these birds are all on fire.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But I liked it because it made you feel scared for her. It made it seem like there were stakes. It's like, this dragon will eat her.
And once again, right, the dragon is ruthless.
And she was.
Why are you burning these birds?
And she was truly defenseless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I liked that. But I do think it's a family movie, but PG-13. I think it would freak. I think the dragon specifically. The dragon parts might be too much for kids.
And the corpses.
Because the dragon does eat. And I mean, it chomps this dude's head off. We see that.
Yeah. Sets quite a few people on fire.
And it talks into detail about how much it enjoys killing.
Yes.
So
killing of the baby dragons was pretty sad too.
Killing the baby dragons was pretty sad.
Yeah. So not for the kiddos.
She had her reasons, but she was still scary.
She was.
Did you have a favorite line or scene?
Favorite line or scene? My favorite would be when she climbed up all the way up to the top of this thing and she thought she was about to get out because she see the sun, and come to find out not only is she super high up and can't get down, the dragon pops up and say, hey girl, I'm about to kill you.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite because I jumped like, oh, what the heck.
My favorite jump scare, which would probably be my favorite scene, was when she gets to the water, the ice ceiling. And she's been in the cave for so long, she's thirsty. And she gets to a part of the cave where the ceiling is made of ice. And it starts to melt and give her water. So she's trying to drink the water. And then she realized the reason it's melting because the dragon is burning through it, about to eat her. And the dragon crashes through it. And she escapes to the little cave where the dragon can't reach. But the dragon was like, almost got you.
Yeah. And burns her leg to a crisp. Is another one of the scenes that I had to turn down because she was screaming so loud. But homegirl's leg was burnt.
But yeah, the dragon
extra
was
crispy.
Like, the dragon was like, I almost got you, girl.
Yeah.
You gotta be
that's when she said, you lasting a little longer than the other
she
ones.
Said, I like you. She was like, I almost had you.
Yeah. And in her voice, it sounds so menacing when she says it like that.
Yeah. So I did like that. Final words about the movie and our rating. I think it's a good watch.
Agree.
It's an hour and 50 minutes. I do think it's one of the better Netflix movies.
How many Nicole Kidmans are we giving it?
I'd give it 4 Nicole Kidmans.
I would give it 4 as well.
Yeah. I would take 1 Nicole Kidman away because the writing was a little cheesy. The ending was a little cheesy. But those are my only negatives I really have. Writing and the writing was a little low budget, and the ending just felt a little too pure for what we all went through.
Okay. I would say 4 because I was entertained. If this was on in the background, I would probably stop and like pay attention to it. Like I wouldn't sit. I don't know if I would sit and watch this again on my own, but if somebody else was watching it, I'd be like, this is that part I like. So let me finish this out.
Yeah. And I've told other people that they should watch it. So
agree.
I guess
if you recommend a movie, I feel like that's quite a few.
That's a good endorsement. Yeah. All right. So that is the end of our review for Damsel on Netflix. Please check it out and tell us what you think about it. What are we doing next week?
It's Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire will be coming to theaters next weekend. So we will be seeing that on a Friday. And I'm not excited about it, but I look forward to it being a good time.
I agree. I like the last one.
I liked the last one, and that's why
more
I say
than
I look forward to it being a good time.
I was going to. So I am looking forward to this one.
I'm not heavy on Ghostbusters. I like the very first Ghostbusters.
Barely remember it.
Lady Ghostbusters was funny.
I enjoyed like that one,
and I enjoyed the newer Ghostbusters that they came out with the kids and bringing the old cast back. But I'm not like a Ghostbusters fan, so I don't get like hype about it. But I do anticipate it being a good time.
I agree.
I like Paul Rudd. I like Carrie Coon.
I like the kids in this too.
And the kids weren't annoying. The kids had purpose. So yeah.
Sweet.
All right. So thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website, vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a voice message. Make it nice. And we can play it on the show. You can also follow us on Twitter on Twitter at vaguelynerdypod. Or IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast. And you can reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com.
Until next time.
Bye.
Peace.